Breaking off. All units, fire at will. Pick your target. Want to stabilize the Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got explosives on my tail. You've got to hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. Okay. Wait for reinforcements.
Another masterstroke by Mr. Daniel East 1000.
I'm gutted I couldn't put the dollar signs behind the ghost.
I'll be honest, I was expecting to see that, or a fat wad of cash just go.
See, but I couldn't pull it off. Guys. I'm sorry.
Never mind. You're forgiven. You're forgiven. It's fine.
Time.
It's been a while. Hello, everybody. To those of you that may be watching live, to those of you that are watching the replay, hello, welcome. Today we've come back. The band is back together, and we're going to talk about all the sexy things we saw at San Diego Comic-Con 2023. First and foremost, gents, like I said, it's been a while. How the devil are you?
Coping.
Certainly not financially, James, considering.
Oh, man. It'll be all right. Bread and cheese can be quite tasty if you've got condiments in the house.
Yeah, you can treat yourself to a pot noodle.
There you go. That's his diet for the next 12 months until that bad boy arrives.
Oh, yes.
Those.
Plenty of flavours to choose from.
What about you, Dan? Are you living it, loving it, surviving, thriving?
I'm living it, loving it, surviving, thriving. I'm here.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. We've got quite a few guys in the chat as well, so absolutely buzzing about that.
Nice. I shall have to get it up.
Hello. Steady on, James. Steady on. We've only just started. The 80s kid from the 90s.
Penny's just dropped there, Steve. Penny's just dropped there.
I'm a mucky pup, sorry. 80s kids here. Hello, mate. How you doing? Milky Way Skywalker. Straight out of Corazon. We've got the guys here buzzing. We've got lots of stuff to talk about. Let's go. So yeah, should we just dive right in?
Let's get balls deep in with it.
Well, I feel like there's something we need to talk about before we get to the San Diego Comic-Con reveals, because it feels like in the weeks leading up to Comic-Con, we've had a couple of drops here and there, some better than others, but I thought we'd take this time to talk about some of the better ones. So just to get your guys' thoughts, I think I already know, but what do we make to this?
God, what a piece of shit. Hasbro for this. Joking, I love you, Hasbro, you sexy beasts. Finally, you did it. You did it. I love you. Finally. You did it. Took you this amount of time that everyone asked you for it. You finally did it.
It's perfect, man.
Perfect.
It really is, isn't it? It's
so good.
So good. So nice.
Oh, man. It's just 2008 again, isn't it? Clone Wars figures coming out on the regular now. We've got Force Unleashed stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Good times.
As soon as I saw this, I was just like, I was thrown straight back in. Because for me, and for you as well, I think, James, for all of us, I think, 2008 was just absolutely unreal time for collecting. And this just, the packaging alone just threw me straight back into it. Absolutely love it. It's really, really good.
30th anniversary vibes, brothers.
In it,
I'm here for it. I'm
absolutely.
Here for it towards the decline of it.
Yeah.
The accessories. The two. I mean, it's two stormtroopers, but I'll take it.
They knew what they were doing with that, didn't they? They knew we were going to buy it.
Yeah.
But just don't stop here, please, Hasbro, because we don't just want Starkiller. We want the rest of the characters from the game as well.
Mm-hmm.
See ya, Gaming Greats live stream for more choices.
That's a very good point, actually. I'm pretty sure this was on Jesse's list when we did that stream as well, wasn't it? So his prayers have been answered.
Oh,
everyone's list, to be fair.
Well, yeah. But, it wasn't on mine.
Is this the version you guys would have wanted? Like the outfit choice?
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. I think that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about with this one is the fact that I'm so glad that they've done this exclusive set, which is awesome. and then Starkiller's obviously coming in the main line later on. But I love the fact that it's not, because they really seem obsessed with releasing Starkiller in his Force Unleashed 2 outfits.
I hate that costume.
And
Is
it's
it just
so
me?
boring. It was all right when it came out because it was the first one from that game. But then every re-release, at least in 3 3/4 inch since, has been that version, and it's like, yeah, all right, we get it. I'm happy with this one. I'm absolutely ecstatic, to be honest, because I never got the original 3 3/4 inch figure of Starkiller in that Evolutions pack. Never ever got it.
No.
No, I missed out on it. I missed out on it. I didn't get a Starkiller. I didn't get a Starkiller until they did those massive Legacy Collection sets. You know, where they released 2 of them.
Oh yeah, those 5-figure sets. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first Starkiller, and that Raxus Prime outfit's fantastic. But this is like you said, OG Starkiller. It is iconic. This
is iconic. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm buzzing about it. I would have also liked it if this was. I would have really liked it. I'm not slating this set, but I'd have loved it if this was a recreation of that Evolution set, and you'd have got and you'd have got like the Sith armor, and then the Jedi Knight.
The Jedi Knight one would have been so easy for them to do as well. I wouldn't have even complained if they'd like reused some stuff on that.
Yeah,
because that would have been easily done.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Sith Stalker armor, because if you just look at the figure, and now we know that they do mostly plastic overlays over the torsos now, it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah,
I would have liked to see it was like an unused costume. It was just in the trailer for the second game. It was just like a t-shirt with this elaborate shoulder pad.
Yeah.
And his 2 blue lightsabers. That would have been nice, but
yeah, that's the cover image, isn't it, for the second game?
That's the one, yeah.
I'd love that. That'd be sick.
But I'm happy just to have some form of the character after 10 years now.
Yeah,
it's far too long.
It's really good. I mean, one of the things I get why they've done it this way, but one of the things I would have really liked about this is if one of the Stormtroopers was a Stormtrooper Commander repaint, because I'm desperate to get that Stormtrooper Commander outfit onto this new Stormtrooper mold. But I get what they were going for, because they've tried to recreate the image from the front of the game, which they've done with the figures on the front of this box, which I fucking love. It looks so good.
It's so good. I had to do a double take when it come out. It's like,
I thought it was a fake. I thought it was like, you know how there's that guy on Instagram who does like the mock-up.
Yeah.
That concept art guy.
I was like, this is fake. This is too cool to... And then I was like, oh, everyone shared it. And then you see the accessories and all the promo stuff. Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Mint.
It is really, really good. Really, really good. I'm hoping that we do get at least a couple of the exclusive accessories from this one with the mainline release. I get that you're not going to get the whole like swirling force effect and all that sort of thing. But an alternate hand and one element of force lightning would be nice.
But I don't know what they do for mainline, really, because we know sometimes they come bare bones, but other times you can get a couple of good bits. If it's mainline, I'd say maybe an alternate hand or two.
Yeah.
Or if it's like exclusive gaming grades, probably nothing.
I'm expecting just the figure and the 2 lightsabers, to be honest.
I would like to see it.
Oh.
Where? Oh,
where's he gone?
Where's he gone?
What happened there?
He just switched around. He just swapped around. What's going on there?
Keeping everybody guessing today.
Honestly, if they made this a deluxe, I'd eat that up. I'm not even gonna. I know I'm a bit giving Hasbro bad ideas here, but I would eat it up if it came with all the accessories. Obviously, bar the Stormtroopers. I'd have it. I'd have it.
Yeah,
in a heartbeat.
Definitely.
I would as well, because those Stormtroopers are pretty easy to come by, aren't they?
They've just put them out in the Return of the Jedi 40th line, which made me a little bit mad. If you know your Stormtroopers, they should be different, but hey ho.
Yep.
Yeah, really, really nice set. Got to give it credit where it's due. Hasbro, they've done us proud with this one. Yeah, love it. So Really, really good stuff. So yeah, so San Diego Comic Con. Let's get into it. We got quite a few sexy reveals, and I think we'd be doing we'd be doing ourselves and we'd be doing our audience amiss if we didn't talk about the elephant in the room first. And that is, of course, Life Day Chewbacca. What do you think?
Yeah, boy!
Ah, bugger it. It's this bad boy. Look at it. It's there.
What are we looking at?
Can't you see it?
I can't see it. What is it?
It's there.
So, gave me a scare. Spooky boy. Spooky boy.
Oh, man.
Oh, what?
I'm with you, Dan.
Only me.
I get it.
Penny dropped.
Penny's dropped.
Couldn't see it, but there it is.
There it is. Hiding in corner of my room.
I don't think it'll be hiding. Flipping heck.
I mean, I think we were all expecting it. It's been teased for a few weeks. You know, I think the rumor mill was swirling pretty much as soon as the Ahsoka series was announced, and we knew that it was going to be essentially Star Wars Rebels Season 5. I think the rumor mill started, you know, going crazy as soon as that was announced, and we thought, the next HasLab is going to be the Ghost. But there it is, and what's even better is the fact that it's backed. It's getting made. It's happening. It's not a Rancor. It's not a Reaver lightsaber. It's actually gonna happen.
Something I really wanted to laugh at, actually. You say that it's been backed. Someone in a chat on Facebook said, "Why are they doing the Ghost? No one's ever heard of this vehicle. It's not a fan favourite." And I'm just like, right, okay, this gets backed, and the Rancor doesn't.
Says it all.
Sit down.
Someone mentioned it as well on Rebel Scum, saying that it wasn't an iconic enough ship. And someone basically someone shot that comment. Someone shot that comment down straight away by saying, "Well, it's based on Macquarie concept art, so in a roundabout sense, it's iconic Star Wars at its peak," which I 100% agree with, and I absolutely love it. I mean, even though the images that we've seen of it so far are all digital renders, like Straight Out Corazon has mentioned in the comments, it is next level in terms of detail. It's really, really good. But it's just
they're still working on it as well. So what they're showing at San Diego Comic Con isn't even the final sort of paint master. And they're making the hallways bigger to accommodate your figures. And they're still working with Lucasfilm, and even good old Dave Filoni and Doug Chang were involved in making it so that all the correct reference was passed between them as they were developing it for the series.
Because that was the one thing I was worried about when they were like showing it off at San Diego Comic Con, rather. Got a Celebration Blues here, brothers. But,
flashbacks, mate, every day.
Absolutely. But I was wondering, are they actually going to put, because there's so much like of Sabine's art in there.
Yeah.
Weird little references like Ben Quadernero's, and I'm pretty sure Cad Bane and.
Well, James, I think it was you that mentioned on Instagram earlier, wasn't it, about the?
Yeah, that's a little bugbear of mine, because you can. I've probably watched far too many videos at the booth, all about this is where it does, this is where we're so proud, blah blah blah. That little painting isn't in the bunk from when Chopper takes the pins out and Ezra falls on Zeb. Sabine's little lovely bit of art and the inspiration from that's iconic. Those little things are what make the Rebels characters. That's where the connection comes from, and it's not on there. I don't know if it will be, but I want it.
That alone, I mean, the fact that like 80s kid from the 90s has just pointed out, next year's the 10th anniversary of Rebels, which is absolutely mad. I feel really old now.
Wow.
But what a time for this to come out, because obviously we're not going to see this available as a physical thing until sort of next year at the very earliest, I would imagine.
December 24 is the supposed shipping date.
I mean, what a time for it to come out. Like, you talk about coinciding with releases and anniversaries and stuff. This is what Hasbro should be doing all the time.
Yeah.
this sort of like marketing to a media that's on the way. Plus, there's just so much. It's been so many missed opportunities in recent memory with anniversaries and media releases. Where you're not getting figures and vehicles revealed or released at the same time as media being released on TV, and you're not getting merchandise revealed at this release. Sorry, at the same time as anniversaries. See Attack of the Clones. And there's just so many missed opportunities in terms of stuff they could have released to commemorate milestones or new media, and they've just not been doing it. But this is peak. This is absolutely peak.
I mean,
it's really a testament to the mistakes that Hasbro have made as well in the past. So they had a prototype ready to go. All the tiers are presented from day one, so nobody's got to constantly ask the question, what do we get when we get to so many backers, X, Y, Z? I can't fault them, to be honest. Even if that little detail isn't inside the ship, it's I don't know. I'm stuck for words and how to describe it, because it's just everything I wanted.
It's one of those. It's like it's absolutely insane, and it's fantastic. I mean, I think Hasbro pointed out themselves, it's the biggest starfighter that they've ever released. It's going to dwarf the big Millennium Falcon, which is absolutely mad to think, because when that thing came out, we thought, how the hell is it? How does it get better than this? But they've gone and done it. They've gone. And done it. But yeah, I think for me, like I mean, the cost and the price is always going to be one of those things that sticks in the back of at least my mind, probably the mind of a lot of other people as well. But I think for me, the only thing that I don't struggle to see the value in it, because I get the amount of engineering that's gone into it. Like you said, the level of detail is absolutely insane. But I just can't help but think back to yesteryear when we were getting vehicles with lights and sounds and all that sort of stuff. And I just think, what would really just tip this over the edge and make it that little bit more worth it for me? It'd be something like that. And I think with the Ghost, like lights and sounds would be absolutely insane. I think that'd be that. If anything, that's a missed opportunity for me, because I think there's so many cool phrases from the show, lights and sounds, that you could put in this thing.
The theme tune. It's not Rebels without that huge music cue at the start of the episode.
That's true. But even something like, even if they weren't going to go for lights and sounds, like, repack the Phantom 1 and chuck that thing in there as well, so you've got that. That's a missed opportunity.
That is a case of Lucasfilm just wanting it to tie in more so to current media, I suppose.
Yeah.
The only thing is, what happens if it reaches over the backing tiers that we've got at the minute? Because surely,
they've got to announce something else.
You've seen it before where they've done a release like this, like a HasLab, and then they've got to the end tier. It's like, oh, well, here's the extra bit because you've supported over.
Yeah.
What if they do either? I thought it's either going to be a Phantom, the first Phantom, or maybe Sabine potentially.
I hope so. They seem to think that the only Sabine they need to make at the minute is the one from Ahsoka.
Yeah,
but if you're giving all the other guys the season 3 and 4 outfits, then you've got 2 options for Sabine from those seasons, and that's the one that you need.
The seat's literally there for her as well.
Yeah. I think that's a good point that you've just made, Dan, is the fact that what happens when they reach over the estimated amount of backers that they want for it. So when they get past that 17,000 mark, what else can they add to it to make it worth continuing on? And I think that's what they're saving Sabine for, personally. I think they've got it, because like you said, that seat's it's painted up specially for her. There's no way they're going to release this thing without completing the Ghost team on those card backs, and we'll get to those in a minute.
I think Sabine and Chopper, because Chopper will be an easy thing to throw in.
I was just going to say, Dan,
they've got the sculpt.
Yeah,
they've only got the head on the Phantom and no body, so you can take the head off the Phantom, but what do you do with it when you do that? Take it off.
The Builder Droid one, they can do that. Why don't they just do that?
I don't know whether there'd be
they should do it.
Would there be any discrepancies with that in terms of whether or not they were allowed to release it? Because wasn't the Builder Droid one a Disney Parks exclusive?
Yeah,
There
and
is.
it's currently over £100 on eBay if anybody wants to buy one.
Makes me feel such an absolute moron for not picking that one up when I saw it at Fan Fun Day back in 2017 because it was 25 quid and I thought that was too expensive.
Dinkum.
I thought it was too expensive, so I left it, and I feel like a right tit. But Straight Out of Coruscant's just made a really good point, and that ties into what we were saying about the extra sort of milestones. As I just peek over the top of the comment, it says he's put. I think what Hasbro need to do now is put the figures that go with it into production. Make sure that by the time it ships, we have Inquisitors, Old Rex, Commander Sato, all the figures that we need to interact with it. That's an amazing point, and that's something that they could maybe tap into later on down the line. But it's also something that Hasbro are really good at doing, at least with the big ships, because they've done it with the Razor Crest. Think about all the figures we've had from Mandalorian that we've got now to interact with the Razor Crest. They could easily
and we're still missing half of them as well.
I think
so it's like they're not even finished.
They've kind of started it though with one of the figure releases for Vintage Collection.
Oh, bugger off, Mark. Yeah, if you want to ghost my friend, you behave. I've lost my train of thought now. Oh dear. Oh yeah, that was it. I was going to say, at least Hasbro have just ensured that the Vintage Collection Grand Inquisitor isn't going to sit on the shelves because everybody will buy that now, including me, because I've got to go and pre-order one of those buggers.
Thrawn as well.
Yeah. Oh, mate, that looks immense. Even though they'll do one from Ahsoka. Got to get that one though as well. Got to be done.
Maul.
Yeah, just at the images that we've got up on screen for this, like, look at the detail, man, and the size of it again. Like I said at the beginning about this dwarf in the BMF, I mean, look at the size of that. Like, just that cutaway section where you've got the chest table and the seats and all that sort of stuff. There's even like a little picnic table in there. Like, this thing is going to be huge. It's insane.
I need a Maul for that area specifically because the only thing that comes to mind when you look at that area for me is when he's there with his droids and he's got the rest of the crew hostage when he's after the holocrons. That's really what sets it apart from any other vehicle that Hasbro have released. Is all the world building element for this is inside the ship, because it's not just the vessel for missions, it's where they live.
That's a good point that
great,
that Daniel Charts actually raised earlier on in the chat. He's put this vehicle got backed because it's Vintage Collection. The Black Series is dying. Not sure I agree with that, Dan, but each to their own. 3 3/4 inches, the true figure scale, and you can't well build with 6 inch. He's got a very good point, but he does have a point. But at the same time, it's one of those things. I get 100% completely what he's saying. And like you said, James, it's the fact that there's just so much. It is almost like a little world within a vehicle, isn't it? Like you said, there's the possibility for so many different scenes, so many different displayability options. It's just top. For
lack of a better term, it's your Star Wars dollhouse.
Exactly.
If it hits 17,000, it's going to come with almost everything you need. And I don't know, man. I mean. I told you before we kicked off, I backed 2 of them because I'm impatient and I need to. If it hits 17,000, I need 2 sets of figures because I can't just open 1 set. I'd kick myself because I just wrecked those lovely cards, and it's just the anxiety of not having any confirmation whatsoever that Hasbro will put them into mainline if they don't, or regardless of situation. So I'm broken and I'm paying for it, lads.
It surprised me that you said that, James, because I didn't think that you were a massive Vintage Collection fan.
No, I'm not. The only Vintage Collection stuff that I actually buy is, let's say, Mandoverse stuff. So Mando and Book of Boba Fett, and then I have every intention to buy the Ahsoka stuff.
Are you not in on the Clone Wars vintage stuff then?
Well, I was, and then I sold all of that last year to sort of finish off my animated stuff. But due to another fig that we'll talk about later that got revealed over the weekend, they've sucked me back in as well. So I should probably be paying for therapy instead of half of this stuff. But here we are.
This is our therapy. Action figure.
Yeah, that'll do. Tell the world.
To quote the Sandcrawler podcast, it's action figure therapy.
I'll take that.
I mean, just going back to what we were talking about earlier, like these shots, I'm buzzing about this. I think this is awesome. The fact that we've got what is, for me, when I see this, I don't think Phantom 2. I just think Newt Gunray's ship
shuttle.
Yeah, exactly.
Separatist. Yeah.
From Revenge of the Sith. And as soon as I see this, I just start going. Dun, 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 dun. You will be sent to the Mustafar system, and that, like, to see that, like, you know for a fact that there's going to be so many people who have backed multiple ghosts who have just bought it for custom fodder, and that's going to end up a separatist ship at some point.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I hope we get that released individually, because I'd buy that.
It's going to reinvigorate the love for Rebels as well, though. Within the community, not necessarily with what we'll receive as product, but all the customs that people will come out with, 100%. Because they'll want to load the ship up with all the characters. Customs for the Kid does a load of cool stuff. They're already ready for this. But yeah, like you say, repainting that's a no-brainer for some people.
Land Speed Elite.
Yeah, man.
3D prints,
massive shout out to that guy. He does a right good service to the community. I wish I had a 3D printer for half of the stuff that he comes up with.
The thing that got me recently was the going completely off topic, but the one of the things that he announced on his Instagram was that he'd put the files together for like we were talking about plastic overlays earlier with the Starkiller figure, plastic overlays for Doc Ondar to make him into Hammerhead.
Oh yeah, that's like, great.
He's doing God's work, man, and he's doing the work that Hasbro should be doing. But you know, top marks to him for the stuff that he's putting out and that he's collaborating with other people on as well. He's like incredibly talented dude.
Yeah, 100%.
So much world building stuff he's giving to us.
It's really, really good. But I think that just about wraps us up in terms of images of the Ghost. But obviously, we wouldn't be. This won't be complete without talking about the figures that come with it. So there they are. Loving it. I love the fact that they've used the mural art on these cards. That is stroke of genius.
That's the one thing that's annoying me with Vintage Collection at the minute is the artwork on the card backs. They just don't hit as hard as they could. And this
slaps.
This slaps because you wouldn't expect it. I were expecting them just to go from pictures from the show.
Yeah.
But then they've done this, and it's like, it's a family. So we need the others to complete the family.
100%. The accessories as well. Like, they haven't scrimped on the accessories. I'm just so overjoyed that Ezra comes with that Scout Trooper helmet.
Yeah,
I love that so much. It's stuff that we've not seen anything else come with.
The Calicori as well, I think, is just an incredible addition, and that serves two purposes as well because you've got Throne coming out in the main line. You know. Yeah.
Throne's holding that in the display. Yeah. Exactly. We know how Dan's setting his little shelf up.
Stop it! Stop it! Don't tempt me.
Because you are gonna back one, Dan. I'll make it my mission.
He just needs to find a 500 quid pop in his collection somewhere, and then he can do it. He's thinking about it. See,
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of quick.
Get rich quick scheme, Dan. Come on, get with it quick. But yeah, the figures do look amazing. Like we said, obviously, hopefully they put Sabine and Chopper in there as well. I mean, it's got to be a given that they do. But yeah, really, really happy with these. I think they made the right call as well, going for season 4.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Appearances. I think doing it because it does sort of tie into the upcoming, like you said, James, the upcoming media with Ahsoka. You know, it's
man,
synergy.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get a lot of versions of these guys, albeit Kanan, from the Ahsoka series.
Yeah.
But it's just not the same, is it?
No.
These are just like the perfect blend of live action and animation compared to any others that they've ever, made in that format. And the version of Sabine that's on the mural is the version that I want, with the sort of purple white hair and the jetpack.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Amazing. And then they need to do an Ahsoka the white as well, or Ahsoka the grey, or whatever they call it.
Yes.
Yes.
Doing that as well. I got the pop of that recently, and I'm just like, friggin' hell, this is a figure.
Hey, I'll save Hasbro some money. That Obi-Wan and Vader 2-pack that they're releasing, just cast a new helmet piece with the damage on the other side, give us a Rebels Ahsoka, put them in a pack.
There you go.
Easy.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. That'd be really good. So yeah, in conclusion, guys, thoughts, feelings,
Perfect.
what we saying? What we saying?
Oh man, it's just
Perfect.
joy.
It's one of those, isn't it? I mean, even if, like, speaking on my own behalf, at least, it's one of those releases where, you know, you can, even if you've got no, I'll say, immediate plans to add this one to your collection, you can still get excited about it regardless, because I think you're just excited for the fact that it's being made and it opens up a multitude of different possibilities for other releases down the line. But also just happy for people who are happy for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm buzzing for the people that are really genuinely excited about this. I'm absolutely buzzing for them.
Just a nice little quick public service announcement, if you will, is if you plan on backing this, but you're one of those people that says, "Oh, I'll wait until it hits the 17,000, so I know that I'm getting everything." Just please don't be one of them people. I've seen it so much on Facebook, and that sort of attitude is just completely defeatist for stuff like this. Be a part of it, back it, and you'll help get it to that number. And if you back it and it doesn't get all these unlocks you want, cancel your order afterwards, because then the only person that's going to lose out otherwise are the people, are the consumers, as you know, putting your order in on it.
Do we not think that might be one of the reasons why the Rancor failed, though? Because I think a lot of people were hesitant about backing it in its early stages because the tiers and the unlocks weren't that appealing. And they maybe thought, well, we're probably going to get the better stuff towards the end. But then by the time the end came, it was like, well, we're not going to make it now.
I don't think that No Oola No Moola campaign helped, to be honest. But I don't know, man. That Rancor thing was just...
It was a... balls up from the beginning, wasn't it?
If Lucasfilm would have given the heads up that it was going to be in the Book of Boba Fett, then it might have helped him a little bit. I don't think it was very far from being backed at the end either.
I don't think it was, no.
It's because as soon as like people were starting to show annoyance at Hasbro, you could tell that they started to panic a bit, and they're like, yes, it's definitely going to include Malaki and things like that, because towards the end. But just throw him in anyway. That should have been there to begin with.
It was during the dark times as well, wasn't it? Like you said,
to be fair, a lot of the Pulse projects, they do feel like, at the time, it was like an experiment to see how can we test in the waters, I suppose. And Black Series just hasn't done it. Yeah. Which really annoys me. But
I agree.
It's got a reason. There's a reason to it, because they've just not... The Rancor was missing so many features. It should have had some kind of electronics in it for like roaring. Just something, Malaki, things that
anything but basics. Cardboard.
Anything but cardboard was the main thing. As soon as they said, "Oh, you've got a cardboard display," no. This isn't 1997. You can't just say, right, you're gonna have an early bird of cardboard that you're not going to even have yet, but you'll get the cardboard when it's actually released. No, Hasbro, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
it doesn't work like that.
Not for something within that ballpark price range
premium.
As well.
Premium product needs to be premium, and that's what the Ghost is.
I think if they did another Black Series HasLab, they've got to be very careful what they choose. It's got to be something iconic that will draw everybody in, but it's the scale that, you know, issues the biggest problem. Absolutely. You're struggling with that.
I personally feel like one of the better options for Black Series, if they want to go down the route of a Black Series HasLab, is a playset or diorama, because I feel like there's a little bit more, and at least something that's not, because like you said, James, the scale is just, or even something like the N1, you know, learn the mistakes.
That was my thought earlier today, to be honest.
Yeah, like learn the mistakes of the TIE Fighter and the Snowspeeder, and don't put something out to mass retail that you just assume is going to sell when it isn't because of the size of it. You know, especially for something like that. Like I think, like such as the Ghost, which is massive. I think that is something unto itself. That's a completely different kettle of fish, but when you're talking like a TIE Fighter or a Snowspeeder, you know, a little one-man fighter, having something that's just a one-man ship in that scale, it feels like, for me, like one of the reasons why I never picked up the Snowspeeder is because I got the TIE Fighter. James has gone again. He's back again.
You can tell I'm Naruto, can't you?
You can. Oh, the Loft Cats were a giveaway. The snow speeder was one of the things that I didn't pick up because I learned my lesson after picking up the TIE Fighter. I was like, oh, it felt like something cool and novelty at the time, but then afterwards I was like, okay, the logistics of this don't really make a lot of sense, so I'm not going to bother with the snow speeder. Like I said, for a one-man fighter, it just doesn't work, but for something like the Ghost, it does. So I think if you're doing something like that with Black Series, you need to make sure that it's something that people are going to go over.
Yeah, you've got to capitalize on the hype.
That's it. And the N1 might do it, but like I say, I think for me at least, Black Series HasLabs would be much better suited to play sets or dioramas. Do like everybody's clamoring for a Death Star play set for the Vintage Collection from HasLab. Do it in Black Series because you can do it modular. You can do it in sections. There's a multitude of different ways you can do Black Series HasLabs, but not do big.
I would say for HasLab, for Black Series, sack off, like you said, vehicles, but multi-figure packs of stuff that is so niche, so extremely niche, that weirdos like us will be on it. Wabber more, is it more off from that Gaming Greats live stream? Weird stuff like that, multi-packs, and have it like as a blacked out, they know what they're going to do. Have it as like a fanboy. Have it, they know what they want to do. And then slowly show them off. What's he saying? Oh, egg woke. You know what?
Going for the jugular there.
To be honest, he has got a point. He is right. I've said this to you, Steve. I've said it to other people. Hasbro shouldn't have done Black Series.
No, I know.
To be honest, lads, I was thinking earlier today. It's not the first time I thought it. I'd love to be somebody like you, Steve. How you've got all the not all, but you've got the majority of the 3 3/4 inch stuff that's come out over the years. But for somebody to jump into that now, it's near impossible. It's just not happening. My pocket money went on Clone Wars stuff, and it was a choice of either buy that or buy the realistic stuff. It wasn't I can get everything kind of deal. So the Black Series serves a good enough purpose though for people like me who wanted to start collecting a Star Wars line that fledged all the different media. I think that's kind of why I hold on to it in a sort of completist kind of way. Because every time you get a figure, even if it's a random repaint or a character you don't like, I'm building out my collection like everybody was doing with the 30th anniversary stuff. It doesn't have to be a war of which one's better or which one deserves this or that.
No, that's the thing.
Collect your stuff and I'll collect mine.
Yeah. I think it's fascinating, the whole 3 3/4 inch rather, and Black Series 6 inch, because for me, who used to collect 3 3/4 inch, 3 3/4 inch.
No, Dan, you say 3 3/4 inch, man.
I say 3
That sounds cooler.
Exactly 3 3/4.
Yeah.
So like the two at the time, how it all changed over, and I do blame Marvel Legends for that. I do blame them because Hasbro kind of looked at it and they were like, "This is doing well. We should do this for Star Wars." And to begin with, it was like, because you got Gentle Giant on the game. And then
don't get me started on Gentle Giant, Dan. We're not friends anymore.
They're a sad time.
Shadow Demon's got the right idea. We're all Star Wars collectors at the end of the day. That's what it's all about. I mean, for me personally, like with Black Series, I mean, these days, for the most part, I am all in on Black Series and I'll just dabble in Vintage Collection. Whereas when Black Series first came out, it was the other way around completely. But I'm just looking at it at a point now where it all goes back to price. It's one of those things where I go into a store now and I look at a new Black Series figure and it's on the shelf for 22 quid. And then I'm thinking, well, that's a 6 inch figure where the detail is like really, for the most part, at least in most instances, it's there, it's apparent, it's really high quality. And then I'm looking at a Vintage Collection figure where I'm like, well, it's smaller, I'm getting less with it, and for the most part, they're all rehashes or redos of figures that I've either got or are available in Black Series that are bigger. So I'm looking at it in a sense that I'm getting more for my money by paying 22 quid for a bigger figure than I am paying 17 quid for a little one.
You saying that as well?
And shallow peg holes fuck me off.
Mate.
You're gonna see that with the other reveals that they did at Comic-Con, because there's a back and forth of that.
That's it.
There's some stuff Black Series does really well than what it does in free recording faction.
I mean, I'm not.
Vice versa.
I'm never out of the game completely, lads. I'm never out of the game completely. Just when I think I'm out, they find a way to suck me back in. So, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be there.
Just a quick off topic. Have you got the light cruiser version of Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian?
Not yet. I'm planning to.
Shallow peg holes, man.
Oh don't do
my
that.
God.
See, is it as bad as, because I've got the Jabba's Palace Luke, and that's not too bad. It's shallow because
it's literally like an indent.
Bad.
It's not even a hole in his foot, and they're actually like further forward in his foot as well, not in the heel.
Oh, that does my head in when they're right in the toes. Because the Stormtrooper commander's exactly the same. His is right at the front. Oh no, they're not.
They're about the same as IG-11.
What I've had to do with a lot of my display stands that I've got, because I get all my display stands from the same place, and what I've had to do with some of the pegs is I've had to get the nail clippers on them and cut the pegs
That's what
down.
I do, yeah, trim them down.
It's so annoying.
Oh man.
And
then they'll fire across the room and you'll just tread on them a few days later.
But as stupid as it sounds, that's one of the things that's taking me out of collecting vintage, because I can't stand the fuckers up.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's weird. But we're going into a completely different realm of topics by going into Black Series.
It wouldn't be a stream if we didn't. Let's face it.
Look, I mean, we touched earlier, didn't we, on premium quality products, and I feel like based on that alone, we need to dive right into some more premium quality products.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. So first
boy. Just what Black Series needs. Just what we wanted. Oh, I'm such a lucky boy. Can't wait to go home and why? Steve, why do you do this to me?
I'm just gonna glaze over them, to be honest, because I really don't feel like we can give these the airtime that they don't deserve.
I'll take the Ewok when it goes on discount. I'll gladly repaint it.
I was just about to say, this is the thing that I said to James the other day. I said that Ewok is probably one of the most logical releases that they've done. And I was like, oh, that's not a bad shout, actually, because, the colours aren't that bad, so it would serve as a decent Ewok Army Builder.
Yeah.
So let's do it. And then I saw the blue fingers, and I was like, nope.
Yes, that's it.
But, I mean, we've got an Ewok, we've got a...
God damn it. No. No.
I mean, I've gone through the press shot. Excuse me, the press shots that we got from Comic-Con, and I've just found the most ridiculous photographs of these figures that correspond with the ridiculousness of this theme in general, because I'm sorry, Hasbro, no one's asking for this. No one wants this. The fact that this has been a thing for 3 years running now is the joke's old. It's... I mean, what the hell?
I think
what the bloody hell is that?
The Jawa they could have got away with if they did it in a quirky way. These aren't quirky. These are just...
No.
Just
a waste of plastic.
Trash.
I mean, this
is... Oh, mate. This angers me. This makes my blood boil. Why the hell have they used this lovely brand new Fleet Commander body mold for the Mandalorian Christmas time instead of giving us this body for Pre-Vizsla? We've got... Come on, man.
No, we don't. We really don't need another Salacious Crumb. We don't need another Salacious...
I mean...
We've got enough Salacious Crumbs.
We could do it in the Black Series, but we certainly don't need a festive themed one.
Don't need a festive one. Don't need it.
This is just
This no, stop
Oh,
it.
man.
That's just when I saw this one, I was like, get in the sea. Get in the sea. Actually get in the sea. Hasbro.
it's bad, isn't it? It's really
Absolute
bad.
goobers.
It doesn't even actually break your nuts open
That
either.
is-
So, oh, man.
I mean, you've got to commend the snowtrooper on his craftsmanship because I couldn't put together a interrogation droid made of snow.
The fact that it's hovering as well is quite impressive. Or is that meant to be ice? Is that meant to be ice, or
It's just meant to be Dogger, is what it is.
let's make them all look like they've got Nerf guns because it's Hasbro.
What they need to do is release one of these with yellow stains because I feel like it'd be apt.
Oh, joy of miniature painting! Come
Oh,
on, let's do it.
Just leave it in the loft for a year, and it'll be yellow. It's okay.
I mean, like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those because there's just no way that you can. I just don't get the point at all.
Nah, man. The last lot ended up for 12 quid in TK Maxx, and if you're buying your figures from TK Maxx, you know that that's the place they've been sent to die and wither.
I mean, we've lost 7 viewers just while those slides were on screen.
Oh,
so-
dear.
It's all up here, lads.
Oh, dear me.
We don't need another Salacious Crumb either. Like, how many have we got now?
That's the thing.
Oh, we don't need a bright green one.
That's it.
That's
oh,
for
no.
sure.
Get away, get away, get away.
Get it off the screen.
Get in the bin.
Get in the sea.
Get in the bin.
Then again,
What's
there's
even
another
worse is that K2 unit. There's sort of a off-white coloured one in Jedi Survivor, and the one they released in that line is wrong. They just released the regular black one with an electro staff.
Yeah.
And instead of correcting that mistake and going, oh, here you go, easy repaint, here's another one. Gone, have a Christmas one. What's even better than K2S? So K2S snow. No.
Like getting a lump of coal for Christmas, isn't
Oh, man.
Well,
Krampus is coming for Hasbro at this rate.
That's a good point.
Come on.
That's a good point, Dan. Why have we not had any Dark Trooper hands included with these Christmas figures? If you know, you know.
Oh yeah, just a whole box of them. That'd be
That's
fantastic.
That's a deep cut reference for those of you that tune into Dan's content.
Legs are my favourite part.
Well, speaking of legs, something that for some reason Hasbro seem to think still has legs is the retro collection, which I'm not going to lie, this is cool.
Yeah.
That's all Dan's got to say about it. Yep.
We've seen this before. You've been here. You know the sets. You know the thing. It's but we don't know the Mon Mothma. Here's a Mon Mothma. Here's a Mon Mothma. I want a Mummy Mothma, but do I want to buy 5 other figures for it?
For the price of that, it should come with a couch of sadness as well.
Yep.
It should come with the many Bothans that died to bring us this information.
Yeah. It's
to be
cool.
fair.
It's cool, but it's going to go on discount.
Yeah. I liked this line and then Credit Collection for the Black Series. I liked them when they were just one-offs.
Yeah.
When it was just one little niche thing, one wave as a throwback. And then, after that it was, on eBay. See you later.
It surprised me that they've only just twigged onto this whole retro thing, because Super 7's been doing it. Is it Super 7?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah. They've been doing it for ages, and then Hasbro, actually, this is a thing. We can cash in on that. And then they did. And they just didn't do it as good.
I agree with
100%.
We need a Mon Mothma on an Andor card.
Yes.
But the one you'll get now is an Ahsoka one, just because they like to play with you a little.
No, I think we'll get a new one in Vintage Collection, to be fair, based on Return of the Jedi, because now they've got the card for it. They'll
yeah, that's a fair point. Usually there's a bit of a pattern there, isn't there?
One of the things that we talked about before we went live about this set in particular is the fact that I'm not a massive fan of the box sets. The fact that they did this with the second A New Hope wave really wound me up, because I've got the first lot of those and I've kept them on card because they're the only representation of vintage Star Wars that I've got in my collection, because I'm not a vintage collector by any means. The OG stuff. So I was really looking forward, especially when they announced that second wave, to VAC Metal 3PO and R2 and all that sort of stuff, and then for it to be an exclusive, no less, and a box set that retailed for about 110 quid. I was like, nah, I'm out, because I managed to pick up my first wave on discount, at a deep discount as well. I think I only paid about 30 quid for the lot. And
I actually got those because you posted about them being in Asda, Steve, some years ago. And that was like the last time I remembered like having the thrill of the hunt for some Star Wars figures. Don't know why they're not there anymore.
That's one of the things that's taken me out of these box sets, is because I'm not going to lie, I do like the retro collection, even as someone who wasn't around during the original run of vintage figures back in the 80s and the 70s. I love the retro collection, but releasing them as waves that were just available as individual figures made it so that you could, if you didn't want the whole set, you could just cherry pick. Like, I've only got Bespin Luke and Yoda from The Empire Strikes Back wave, because they're the only two figures that I really wanted. And then with the Return of the Jedi, if this was a wave, I'd probably pick up Yak Face and the Royal Guard, and that'd be it. But you're not able to do that now, because they're releasing them all as box sets, and it's annoying because they started out doing it a certain way, and then now we're at the final stretch. Like, now we've got a wave for each of the original movies, and it's like you can only do it if you can only have figures from all three films if you buy these two really overly priced box sets. And it's like, just release them as a wave in store or individually, and give people an opportunity to buy what they want. Curate their own collection.
Those Amazon 2-packs they did with Boba Fett, is it Bosk, IG-88, or them?
Yeah.
I would have picked up IG-88 on his own in a heartbeat, but because he's packed in with someone else, I'm like, come on now. It's like,
but I'm like that with those box sets again. They are like, even though there's only two figures in those sets, the price that Hasbro released them for, it doesn't make sense. Like, these retro figures were available at $10 a piece, and that was the top bracket of what they were available for in stores. If they were a different price to that, they were less. And then to include Boba Fett, who's already been released in the retro collection, no less, with Bosk, and charge 35 quid for it, and then IG-88 and Dengar and charge 35 quid for it. Because when those bounty hunters were released, I was like, okay, I'm going to get the bounty hunters because I want the original lineup. I was going to open them, and I wanted the original lineup of the bounty hunters in vintage form. And I was really looking forward to that. But again, the price, I was like, no, I'm not paying 35 quid for two figures that were available for a tenner each 2 years ago.
It's logistics as well, isn't it? Because in the UK, weren't we like, I don't actually think we got off of them until they were deeply discounted and taken away from the exclusive retailers. So Amazon UK never even bothered stocking them to a certain extent. The US Amazon just liquidated everything, and then the fan channels got sort of last pick.
That's it. And Star Action Figures have got the Dengar and IG-88 set currently in their sale at $22.95. Shameless plug.
They put a good post up on Facebook the other day about these, actually.
Yeah,
interesting read if anyone's got time.
Yeah, go and give that a read if you follow Star Action Figures on Facebook. They're very insightful, the posts from those guys, about the goings on behind the scenes at Hasbro. But we'll touch base on that possibly some other time. It's another chat for a different day. But retro aside, I mean, I don't think any of us are really that bothered about it. It's one of those things. Yeah, okay, next.
Done that, ain't it? Done that.
That's it. The Mon Mothma is a nice novelty. It's like the Tarkin they did with that board game, but it's not something that we were exactly clamouring for. But with that being said, moving on from retro, we'll keep in the theme, and we'll keep some of the 3 and 3, the legacy scale audience that we've got currently. We'll keep them in the loop. So let's jump into vintage collection. And first up, we have this one. What do we think?
Solid, except for that giant bucket under her arm.
Yeah, it's somebody made a good point recently. I forgot where it was. It might have been on Instagram or in one of the forums, that they feel like the 6-inch helmet's being photographed with it by mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right.
I mean, I've only picked one image of the figure to showcase as we talk about it. but there ain't no way that helmet is the right scale.
No,
Because it is huge, like really huge, to the point where it's
there's no way you're putting that on the head and it's not rattling about. There's no way that's a snug fit.
No, it's I just don't understand. I don't get what they were going for with that. But if that is how it comes, it's a no from me. But we'll have to see.
Does it just me, or does it look fine in the other picture where it's like this small little circle image of it?
Yeah, it does, doesn't
it? Looks okay. I don't know.
Yeah,
it looks like it's a different shape rather than being a big bucket.
Shadow Demon's pointed a good point out. It's not actually.
Oh dear.
And there we go. We've got that balance there from 80s Kid. It looks cool, but I'm buying the Black Series version first. Likewise, I'm doing the exact same thing.
Because it'll probably be priced the same, won't it?
Precisely. You won't. I don't think you'll get the Loft Cat, but
no.
Why does it warrant a deluxe price when it comes with the same amount of accessories that vintage collection Ezra does with the Ghost?
Yeah.
And I know it's a pricing and all that can work differently because it's crowdfunded to a certain extent, but if you can fit it all on a bubble, why not just do that? Yeah, why not just do that?
Just what a waste of packaging.
This is one of the issues that, like I said, going back to cost and balancing the scales in terms of 6-inch and 3 3/4 inch. I can't be all in on vintage anymore when they're pulling stuff like this. I mean, some of the round our way at least, you go into HMV, and some of the deluxe figures that, like you've just said, James, can be packed on a bubble.
Yeah.
Are about pre-Vizsla, for example. I'm not being funny. The majority of the accessories he comes with could go on a basic card, and they've decided to chuck that one out at 34 quid. 34 quid for a 3 3/4 inch figure. That is madness to me. I can't wrap my head around that. So if this one ends up in a shop at 27 quid, I just don't see the value in it.
That original first wave, the only one worth grabbing really was the Stormtrooper with the E-Web.
Yeah, which
the other stuff was, I think you can get there at the minute in game as well. It's in there for £9 and change.
Ooh, don't tell me that.
Oh no.
Too late.
No.
Yeah. The other two were just a waste. I don't know what they're thinking with it, but whatever. I mean, I bought Paz Vizsla because I don't know, I just wanted it. It's actually probably one of the better vintage collection figures I've bought in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Not worth the price, 100%. Put me clown hat on for that one again, but
I am very keen for it. I mean, don't get me wrong. It looks. I'm not slagging it off by any means. It looks like a phenomenal figure, and I really want it. But like I said, it's just that 34 quid. It's like bloody hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's nearly 2 Black Series figures. You know what I mean? It's tough pill to swallow. Really, really tough.
You don't really get a lot of value with the Deluxe Black Series figures these days, but I feel like you get more value with the Deluxe Black Series than you are with the Deluxe Vintage for the prices you're paying. So, again, when you've got, let's say you've got £35 in your hand, which you're going to pick when you're in the shop?
Yeah, exactly. The bigger one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in terms of quality and overall look, I mean, buzzing. It looks really, really good.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know they're going to repaint the hell out of this anyway, but
just a slight clap for that. Yes.
The man, the myth, the legend returns.
Oh yeah.
Football 70. How the bloody hell are you, mate? Long time no see. Seems like only a decade ago that Stephen Dan were moaning about spending a tenner. Do you know what? And it's so horrible because I remember those days vividly. I remember going into. I don't even remember moaning about spending a tenner. I remember moaning about spending $7.99 when the Clone Wars figures came out.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah.
And they went from $5.99 to $7.99. I was like, oh, I'm not paying that. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
Oh dear me. Oh God. Good times. Darren, mate, we're doing well. It's so good to see you, dude. It's so good to see you and hear from you, mate. I hope you're well as well. The legends are showing up in force tonight.
Here we go.
Wait.
You know.
Here we go. Now it's a party. Let's go. But yeah, I mean, like I said, as a figure, all for it. It looks really good. I'm excited. I hope it's a sign of things to come in terms of what we're getting from the Ahsoka series. I'm really looking forward to some of those figures.
Did you guys see the two that were leaked on the back of the card? There's a whole card back sort of debacle going on where Hasbro are going back to the 2010 card backs for vintage.
Yeah, I was
because it's definitely not because at conventions they can't cover the current card back up to stop leaks getting out there.
That's obviously why they've done it.
Yeah, the assassin droid that you see in the Ahsoka trailer, as well as Morgan Elsbeth, have been leaked through them, and they didn't even reveal them at Comic-Con. So
yeah, it's weird. I did see that. What do we feel like in terms of the card backs? I know, like Dan, especially, you're not a massive vintage card connoisseur, but how do we feel about the reverting back to the 2010 styles cards? Because I've heard a lot of people saying that they're going to miss the nostalgia factor, but in terms of, I'm buzzing that we're getting character bios back, if I'm being honest. Don't know about you.
We're getting
That's cool.
character. This is new to me because I've not paid attention to any of this.
Right.
So they're bringing back character bios.
Yeah. So what we're going to get essentially, I haven't got.
I remember. So is it like it'll have the year maybe, and then the picture?
No, it's not got. They've not gone that far with it. Where they're showing like the original release of the figure. They're just showing the card. They're just showing the figure that you're getting.
Okay.
And then it's like got the curved swooshy line with all the legal garb, and then it's got the character bio at the side, and then celebrate the saga, blah blah blah. So it's like the 2010 style stuff.
I dig that. Finally, that's a new bit of news to me because I'm behind on everything.
Yeah,
I
would have prepared a slide, but I figured that none of us gave a toss, so I didn't.
Well, I do, Stephen, and I missed it because I was too busy watching Barbie at the cinema.
Oh, mate, it's either in the bin or it's on the back of a wall for me. So it's like,
true.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, like JC said, he likes the 2010 style, but when it shows the first version of the figure and it's just a picture of the same thing we're getting, it's like, what's the point? And I agree with that.
Yeah.
New figures, for new figures that are making their line debut, obviously it works. But for figures like, I don't know, like Revan, that should have been like the 30th anniversary card, it makes a
it's kind of the whole point, really, isn't it? It's, I don't know. It's sort of.
It's one of those, isn't it? I mean,
what's the word I'm after? It's opening your audience up to stuff they might not necessarily be aware of. If you're showing them a picture of an older figure from what could be a bygone era to them, then that's investment in the line because they're then going to go back and buy them, or they'll be they'll be more interested opposed to just casually buying one figure. They might actually buy multiple.
Well, that's what
other
vintage
things.
Collection was to me. It was like history because
that's it. Yeah,
there's a lot of
catalogue.
There was a lot of characters actually in Vintage Collection that was like when it first came out. I didn't even know this was a thing. Nominor, remember that boy? And it's like okay. And then you look at it, it's like first
which really ties in nicely to what Straight Outta Coruscant's just said about having the character debut sticker back. Like they're the little things that used to differentiate the different cards. I love that.
I'm a sucker for a sticker on a card back as well. I really like that Mandalorian one that comes with Grogu.
Yeah, me too.
Oh man.
I went as far because I remember like when the vintage obviously I'm not old enough to remember when the original came out, but when they did the mail away offer for the rocket firing Boba Fett, and they had the recreation of that sticker on the front of the card. I loved that so much. I bought an embroidered patch of it.
Nice.
Just of that sticker, just to have on my Fett Focus shelf because it's just so cool. It's I love it.
They did it in the Clone Wars line as well, didn't they, with Nadar Veb and then the Qui-Gon and Eope.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. That's what JC's just put. It makes them feel special, and I totally agree. On the subject of figures
he's
that we've
a special
seen,
boy.
Look at that.
Look at him.
There he is. What do we think?
Hasbro's longest ever promise finally coming to fruition.
Yeah, I'm glad.
A better version.
I was just about to say, in hindsight, I'm really, because it wasn't until I can't remember who it was who pointed it out, but someone said, "Well, this was a figure that was announced a while back, but it was going to be the 30th anniversary re-release, and I was like, oh no, do we really want to be doing that in the 2020s? And then they released this, and I was like, oh, Darth Revan's coming to the Vintage Collection, completely forgetting that it had been announced already. And I'm really glad that they did hold off, because if they had have re-released that original figure,
what a disappointment!
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, for the time it was fantastic, but it needed an update, and this is quality stuff.
That card and
it's
the text,
beautiful, isn't it?
Perfect.
Yeah, it
I'll
looks
get it.
so good.
To keep it carded, that's one for me, I think.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
same. Because that, I mean, like for me, I'm absolutely gutted that my 30th anniversary collection samples got damaged in my previous room, because having Revan and Malak carded together were absolutely awesome.
That was like being a pimp back in those days, wasn't it?
It bloody was.
If you had them on card as well as loose, you were swimming in it.
Well, do you know what the thing is as well with that? I found the first two that I kept carded. I found at Forbidden Planet, paid a little bit more because back then Forbidden Planet used to knock things up a little bit.
Yeah,
so I probably paid $7.99 for them back then. And then I found the two loose ones that I ended up with. I got at Toys R Us for $5.
Bloody
and I was
hell.
like, bloody Nora, look at this.
£5 for Star Wars figures, man. Take me back.
It's mad. But like you were saying,
Lovely.
Dan, like in terms of a carded sample, that Knights of the Old Republic logo looks like it was made to fit on a vintage card.
Yeah.
It looks gorgeous. It's really, really nice.
Repack Bastila. Get Bastila Shan on there.
Mm-hmm.
Redo the card art.
That's the only problem, isn't it? And that's the only thing that's, I'll not say irritating me as such, because I'm not a massive for vintage cards, but the fact that you've still got figures being re-released today, like Starkiller, for example, he's just been re-released and he's on an expanded universe card. They've done the Stormtrooper Commander, put him on a Force Unleashed card. You know what I mean?
That looked wicked as well, that logo did.
It did. It was really good. I love the fact that they're using the actual logos on the cards now. But
beautiful.
Yeah, that looks amazing. Really, really like it. The figure looks good. I think who's mentioned it in the it's Luke Warren's mentioned in the comments that this looks like a scaled down Black Series Revan, but I don't think it will be because the hood's removable, and I don't think the Black Series one is it?
No,
it's sculpted. No. It's sculpted on, so maybe parts of it will be scaled down, maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, a quality release. I'm really, really excited for this one. I think this will be one of the two figures that I pre-order out of these reveals. Yeah, stunning figure. And speaking of scaled down Black Series figures,
oh, here he is. Hello, baby.
This one really took me by surprise, because when they said that they were announcing Thrawn and he was seen on the back of that card, I was like, I can't wait to see Lars Mikkelsen in an action figure form. And then when we saw this, I was like, oh, okay, we're going that route with it, are we?
Because I was expecting that was going to be it. It was going to actually show Lars Mikkelsen on that card back and actually have a Lars Mikkelsen Thrawn and be, for Ahsoka. Like, oh no, it's not actually Rebels, it's Ahsoka.
Oh. I think they planned it a little bit in advance, didn't they? Before, all the details came out about Ahsoka. Yeah, and they sort of got caught. They got caught off guard at Celebration about it when they pipelined it. But I mean, I'm not bothered. I'll buy another one after this.
I'll buy two.
Yeah,
I don't like the card artwork though.
At least they're using the actual animation from the show. Most of the Clone Wars ones don't like to do that.
Yeah, there is.
Do you know what? I think years ago I used to complain about them using images that were photoshopped mock-ups and realistic renditions of the characters. I was like, oh well, if because the original vintage cards always took stills from the movies. I was like, they shouldn't be making up images just for the cards. They should be taking stills from animation or stills from TV shows or cartoons or whatever. And now they're actually doing it. I miss the artist renditions. I'm such a hypocrite.
It's a mixture for me. I just think we could have used a better picture. Picture.
I think for me, it's just a consistency issue. I mean, for me, I've got the. Cause I'm on a mission. If you saw my post on Instagram today, I'm on a bit of a mission to put together a carded collection of Clone Wars ARC Troopers. So I've got 5s, Jesse and Echo, and the fact that Echo and Fives have got artist rendition images, and then Jesse's a still an animation still. I'm like, it itches my brain.
For the longest time, I was questioning that myself. Even I think I spotted it for the first time on Cara Dune, because it's just almost like a publicity image of the character on some crazy ass background. So, but you know, if you've got a show and it's in lovely crisp HD, just take a screen grab. You know, it didn't stop them just taking the most obscure screen grabs from A New Hope way back when for the kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, Fives and Echo are just some artist renditions instead of actually just using screen grabs from the TV series.
I mean, one of the figures that I think's done a really good job of like meshing that realistic, not so realistic rendition, sorry, but that old school feel of the original vintage cards with the new characters is the Clartonian Raider from the Mandalorian. Because I love the fact that they've not used him as a character. Yeah. I love that they've used the vehicle instead. That's so old school because it takes me back to the ATST driver, and it just looks so good. There's just something about it. When I picked that figure up, I was like, I don't really want to open this because this is just so weird. But then at the same time, I was like, nah, get him on the Mando shelf. But that card was just so good. And even like I said, even though it didn't show the character, the fact that it just stuck the vehicle on that card looked awesome. I loved it. Really, really good.
I just need this now. I need it now.
Yeah, man. What was with that?
Yeah, that was a weird card. Really, really strange. But vintage collection.
Yeah.
I've put the wrong one in. I was just about to grab another image on the screen, and I've just realised that I've selected the Black Series version and not the Vintage Collection one, so bear with me just a second.
Here we go.
We'll be back after these brief messages. Where is she? Where the bloody hell is she? Where's she gone? Where's she gone? Where's she gone? I can't find it. There she is.
Drum roll.
Just bear with it. Just waiting for it to upload.
Whilst everybody waits for us, this is a great time to go and back the ghost.
Back the ghost while you wait. As we talk.
Thank you to our resident Hasbro employee James for that shameless plug.
Thank you.
There we go. What about this one? This is an interesting one. Well, it's not really interesting. It's that's the wrong word, but what do we reckon?
Is it straight up repack?
It looks like it to me. It really does.
Yeah, straight up repack. And
I mean, I get it. Because if they're going to release figures at the same time as the media, you're going to want the main character available. But it's not like that Mandalorian Ahsoka isn't peg warming the shit out of all these stores at the minute.
I mean, the least they could have done was a new head sculpt, though, because they improved the prosthetics for the show. After everybody moaned about it, and you can, like you just said, you can still get this figure on the Mandalorian card back.
Yeah.
So why are people going? People are going to buy this to keep in the box on the card, but
that's it. I think I prefer the card on this one.
Yeah.
Again, it's a still from the show, whereas the Mando one, that was another one of those weird blends of Photoshop and live action, wasn't it? Because she was
it was
but this one looks a lot more organic, a lot more natural, and I'm here for it. But yeah, I mean, we've got a Toy Town store in my area, and the pegs in there are littered in just this one figure, and she's available for £8.
Really?
Yeah.
I might get on that.
Yeah, I would, mate. I would for £8. You know, because I actually thought about it. I was like, oh, do I get one just for the carded collection? But
yeah.
I mean, I assume there will be production discrepancies, like, you know, the shades of the colours, I guess.
Yeah,
but that's not warranting another purchase. At the very least, they could have included unlit lightsaber hilts, because they seem so keen to do that for everybody else, but Ahsoka.
Yeah, and they've even done it for Sabine on that deluxe card as well.
Yeah.
So straight out of Coruscant says, would have been nice to have the robe for this that was with the deluxe one. That'd have been good.
Oh, that was a terrible robe. Don't worry about that.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, that I've got stronger tissues than that, mate.
It feels like a wasted slot. it makes sense to have this for Ahsoka, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's a weird one. It makes sense to have it so that you've got the main character available for when the show comes out, but
Yeah,
at the
there'll
same
be
time,
another one anyway. Did you guys spot in the trailer that she's wearing a different outfit when she's in the cockpit of the ship?
Yeah.
So there'll be another one.
yeah. Speaking of different outfits, finally, Chewie gets a change of clothes.
Yeah, boy! Yes!
Chewie just gets clothes.
That's it.
I'm all
Wait,
for
you
this.
mean you've been walking around naked this entire time? I love this. I think.
Yeah, me too.
Perfect.
It's so funny. It's such a troll move on Hasbro's part.
I want a Black Series one because I'm not going to buy this. So I want one that I can buy.
I want it carded.
So I'm very jealous of this.
Me too. I really want this carded.
They'll definitely do one in Black Series, and I think to have this when they do eventually have it in Black Series to go against it.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
JC's beaten HasLab. I never actually thought of that. That's not a bad shout.
That's
not
hey,
a bad shout.
There we go. Maybe I don't need a Black Series one after all.
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking, because I've got my vintage collection Royal Guard displayed with the expanded universe armor, so I've got the robe kicking about.
Oh,
that's not a bad shout, mate. Cheers for that one.
Yeah.
only problem is, where am I going to get my balls from?
Mate, Hobbycraft. Hobbycraft will have something like that.
They've got to do, aren't they?
They'll have them little, the necklace things. Just find one.
Yeah.
You know what? I might have just saved myself a purchase. Nah, but the card.
The card's too cool, though, innit? Because it's just so.
I love the fact that this is I didn't realise at first that this was a Disney Parks exclusive, and the fact that it is like I think is good because you'd obviously got all that Life Day merch that came out, that was exclusive to Shop Disney.
Yeah.
And so I'm seriously considering jumping on the fact because they've got the plush for sale at the minute, and I'm thinking, do I get that and then have this to go alongside it?
Life Day shelf.
Just for the lols.
Then you need to get yourself the orb, mate. Buy yourself the orb.
In my head, Dave Filoni is going to buy this figure and mail it to George Lucas for Christmas.
It's class.
Definitely a day.
It's so funny. It's so funny. I'm so glad they've done it.
I want more.
This got a huge round of applause at the panel as well.
I'm not surprised.
I don't think they expected it.
No,
it's great.
That's one of the things, isn't it? I mean, it's not a yarn. It's goofy and it's stupid and it's a deep cut, but it's not a yarn of Dalgargan. Do you know what I mean? It's there.
Oh yeah.
It's there for an audience, and there's only a select few people that's going to buy this, and Hasbro know that releasing it. And this is where I'm saying I think they're finally going down a route where they're doing stuff like this that some people might turn their nose up at, but they know that there's a niche for it. And I think that's what they need to tap into now. They don't need to just release figures that no one's going to buy and no one's going to want and no one asked for. Christmas figures aren't a niche. Unless they're based on the Lucasfilm Christmas cards, they're not a niche. So, and that, I mean, look at that. Just as we bring it up, boom.
Yep.
They're not a niche. No one asked for it. But there's going to be a demographic out there that goes, well, yes, let's have it. And I mean, there's 2 out of 3 here that have just said they're going to buy it. So
honestly, thinking about it, if they did it as a wave where this was coming out for Christmas,
oh my god!
Oh yeah!
Do you know what though? If they included just repacks of Han, Luke,
with holiday special art,
whereas the crappy cartoon pictures, I'd be on that. Boba Fett.
I was telling you the other day, wasn't I, Dan, about the comments on Rebel Scum that were saying, well, we should have got a new episode 4 Luke or Leia before this.
That's it. Put it on that.
Put Leia, do a brand new episode 4 Leia, give the fans what they want. but don't release it on a
Yeah.
on a Star
Yeah.
Wars card. Release it with holiday special artwork and watch the world burn. Do it, Hasbro, you cowards! Do it.
They can do it. They can do it. People would
Oh
buy
my
it because
God.
people would want those figures, and also for someone like me, for something so weird on my shelf, just have carded. Because that's where I'm at with vintage collection. I love getting vintage collection figures that are characters that I like, or it's quirky, or the card art just screams at me.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
where
one
I'm
of
at.
those,
Yeah.
and I'm on it.
Give us an Acmina. Let's go. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. JV, welcome. Greetings from Turkey. Hi, mate. I'm following the channel with great pleasure. Thank you very much. What do you think is the best product announced at SDCC? If you stay tuned, mate, this is probably something that we're going to wrap up with at the end.
Oh, yes.
We've still got quite a few products to cover that were revealed. So we will touch on that later on. So just bear with us. But thank you for tuning in. Happy to have you. Next vintage collection reveal was this one, which
Yeah,
is
I can leave it.
Yeah. Not
It's
for me,
another one
lads.
Yeah, it's another one of those, isn't it? Where it's, I mean, for army builders, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
I think for there we go, JC. Going back to the holiday special with the deep cuts.
Yes.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I can take this or leave it. Straight out of Coruscant's just made a really good point that we've got named characters on, in a multi-pack. This isn't. I'm confused about the fact that this is an army builder. Because I thought that the whole point of these packs were to give us unnamed troopers, where I can see at least one named officer in that group.
Yeah.
Two, I think, because am I right in saying that Piet is in this set?
Yeah, with
It
the
looks like it, yeah.
correct rank badge now.
Yeah. So and then Motti as well, which I'm buzzing about Motti. That's awesome.
The box. Oh, they've done that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I like that as
The
well.
kind of
Missed opportunity not to make.
Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. Your sad devotion to that ancient religion, etc.
I think you're going to be hard pressed to top that Power of the Force Comtech Motti, though, where you could actually position his arm around his neck.
Oh yeah,
that were an expert bit of action figure engineering by this figure, kids, that's getting choked to death. I don't think that's going to. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a superior sculpt, but just for posability, that figure was awesome. But yeah, I'm like you guys. I'm neither here nor there for this one. It's cool. It was a surprise to be sure, but a somewhat
not
welcome one.
necessarily a welcomed one.
Yeah, I mean,
me.
missed opportunity to make that white tunic officer Commander Versio from Battlefront.
I heard that going around.
Or Poncho Krennic. Give us Poncho Krennic.
It could have been.
I was thinking Yularen from Andor.
Yeah, and that's it. Andor. They should have had like more.
Yeah, the IFB. Just give us the IFB.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dedra, the guy from Game of Thrones.
Give me Dedra.
Yeah.
What would have been nice is if they'd have included a set of the field armor. You know, like what General V is throwing wear. You could put that on any of them and it'd work.
Yeah, that'd be good. Or at least like maybe a little diorama piece, like maybe a table or something, like a briefing table or something.
Chairs.
Yeah, if you got half of a briefing table, and then they'd make you buy two, so you could have a full one.
Yeah,
that's a Hasbro thing to do. So
there you go. We're giving you ideas, Hasbro, and we're not charging. So
you just put Cyril Khan off to the side. Just give us a little bonus Cyril Khan in there.
Yeah,
with a bowl of cereal.
With a bowl of cereal because he looks dead sad and he needs his
cereal.
He's a growing boy.
I like that one, Shadow Demon.
Snowtroopers.
Oh, that's great.
Bureau Troopers, pencil pushers, Imperial pencil pushers. Oh, Shore Troopers. No, I thought he meant snow troopers, but sorry, Shore Troopers.
You should have rolled with that.
Yeah, it
Well
worked.
do it.
It worked. I think that just about wraps it up for TVC reveal. So we've saved the best till last, at least in my opinion, because there's going to be a lot to be said about this guy. Look at that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And this is, and like we were saying at the beginning, for anybody who's out there thinking that we're all vintage bashers and that we are all in on Black Series, I much prefer this one to the Black Series figure that we'll talk about later on.
Undeniably.
Perfect.
This is absolutely stunning.
Even the dark saber, it's got the crackling on.
Yeah. It looks
Card
so
artwork,
good.
All of it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's
Beautiful.
really good. The one thing that I do want to talk to you guys about, and I'm not sure whether this was covered because I didn't watch the panels, and it's not the image that I've used here on the slides either, but one of the loose shots of this figure shows him with flame effects in his jetpack. Now, unless they're hiding behind the figure on the card, I don't see him included.
No, we had a little chat about this the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, what do you think's going on there?
Hasbro goof. Classic.
Yeah, they could be behind him on the card. And I know there's been a few figures recently where that's been the case compared to the render. The products come out, images have leaked in advance, and they've gone, hang on, where are these accessories? And they've just been behind the figure. But Hasbro have also promised accessories and then not included them.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's going to be one of those goofs, though, isn't it? Where we were talking earlier about the fact that you can include vintage figures on bubbles. You don't need to stick them in a cardboard box just because they come with extra plastic.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of those instances because if this comes with flame effects, that should have been a deluxe because he comes with the same amount of accessories just about as the deluxe Boba Fett.
The only way, in my opinion, the Black Series one-ups this, and it's not even to say the Black Series one's better, it just does one thing that this one doesn't. You can take the blade out of the Darksaber and put it in his jetpack, whereas this one hasn't got a hilt. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, that's sort of like what I associate this version of his armor or his appearance with, because there's something cool about just having a lightsaber weapon on your back when it makes no goddamn sense. I don't know how they're pulling that off, because you can't just take the ignited one and just slide it down there. That isn't going to work.
Well, they did it with Ram Kurta from the Force Unleashed.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I've actually thought about this one now while we've been talking, and I need it.
Yeah.
I need it to have uncarded. Because it can go with Maul. He can go with Maul.
There you go.
And I can pop his head off and give Maul the dark side because he truly deserves it.
There you go.
We need a Savage Opress now.
Yeah.
Because you've got all the other Mandalorians. You could even just get a random Obi-Wan head and make that Mandalorian armor version. So, Savage Opress, Duchess Satine, and there you go. World building Hasbro. You sorted that little scene out. JC's
just made a good point that we alluded to earlier about if they gave him his first helmet, cape, and his jet effects, then deluxe price. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yeah. But I think there are some differences because he doesn't have the markings on his armor in his first phase of armor, does he?
Yeah, it's mostly like darker colors as well.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Clone Wars one, and it's just plain sort of like dark black blue colors going on. And obviously, it'd need his original.
It'd need a different head sculpt as well.
Yeah,
unhelmeted
with the little quiff.
Yeah, card art's cool as well. Going back to that discussion about renders or actual screen grabs.
Yeah, one of the selling points for me on this one is the jetpack. I love that old school,
it's cool,
bulky, dirty Rocketeer looking jetpack. It's superb. It looks so good.
I've literally got the other 3 Clone Wars Mandalorians sitting in my basket on Amazon because of this. I could have had them for 15 quid from Star Action Figures the other week when they had them all to a $5, but I didn't buy them because, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
That's why it's dark now, lads. Can't put the power on because I'm backing 2 ghosts.
This is my can't pay the electric bill go.
No, light switch is all the way over there, and
Oh dear.
I did not predict this. So
It's all right. We're fine. We can hear you. We don't need to see you, mate.
Oh god, it is really dark. Never mind.
It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, Vintage Collection. I think this is one of those instances where they've really done a really good job of balancing the scales, and that there's just something for everyone in this recent batch.
Yeah.
They've ticked a lot of boxes for a lot of people, and you've got to give them credit for that.
I think when they get me interested in Vintage Collection, that's why you've done good.
That's the thing. I mean, same for me. Like I'm the exact same as you at the minute, where I'm just like I'm cherry picking vintage. I'm not going all in. Like unless it's figures at a cheap price that I'll grab as and when, I'm cherry picking the line, and I'm just getting the figures that I really really want. Case in point, for example, I went into Game the other day and they'd got Empire Strikes Back Lander, which I've still not picked up, despite clamouring for years for an updated version. I've still not picked that one up yet, and they'd got one the mustachioed Bespin Guard, and they were $5.98 each, and I was like, do I get them? But then I was like, no, I'll have this Andor clone trooper for 17 quid instead. Yeah. So they find a way. They do find a way. I'm not gonna lie, they do manage it, but it's got to be the right thing at the minute, especially for what they're asking for.
Yeah, definitely, man.
For vintage. I'm just gonna start loading in the Black Series images, because there's not actually as many as I thought there would be to go through.
There's not.
While you do that, I'm just gonna go put my light on.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Just putting the light
go for it.
Light is now on the situation.
50p for the meter, lads.
There we go.
That's better. Now we'll probably lose about 10 fucking viewers now in that.
I know, right?
See my ugly mug.
JC, I truly appreciate your generosity, mate, but I can go you one better, because there's about 7 hanging in game at the minute, and like I said, they're only about a $5. So if and when I'm ready to jump on that one, I will do so. But thank you very, very much, mate. I appreciate that. Much obliged. This is just taking a little bit longer than normal because my computer's decided to go on a massive go slow. I'm trying to remember what I've loaded in and what I haven't.
What
we'll just get in? I'm just putting on the 1, 2, 3.
There's not many. There's really not many.
There isn't. I'm just making sure, because I've named them with the character name and then either TBS or TVC at the end, which was a mistake in hindsight. So yeah, I'm just making sure I've got all the right ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's never it, is it? 4.
4 that have gone up for pre-order. The Ahsoka stuff doesn't go up until August 10th, so I'm assuming
I might have.
That's why.
I don't think I've missed. There she is. Here we go. This is why. 6 figures.
Sounds about right.
Two of which we already know about, sort of. So we'll talk about those first in a moment.
I don't know, man. They're not mine. I think one's the Galaxy's Edge one, so Disney Store, and one's Build-A-Bear. So one makes noises, but I don't know if you'll be able to hear it through my headset or not.
Here we go.
I'll dissect it first.
I really want the Build-A-Bear one, but I just can't.
Sounds like us when we're whinging about things.
Yeah. I can't bring myself to walk into a Build-A-Bear and like sign a birth certificate for it and all.
That's all right, man. That's why they've got a website. You won't catch me dead in there.
Yeah. Right, so I think I've just about loaded all the Black Series images in. So we'll kick things off, like I said, with the stuff we already know about. And again, Repack City.
Yeah.
So at least it's got a window.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
see the
massive
thing.
round of applause for Windows. That's probably the biggest takeaway from San Diego Comic Con for me, because I was looking at all the booth images that people were uploading, and I was like, "Oh, look, there's the Pike soldier in the box. I can see it, and it's in the box." Oh man.
Yeah, it's. I mean, again, it serves the purpose of getting the main character of new media out there, but it's another one of those, isn't it? Who hasn't got this figure at this point?
Yeah.
If it included some accessories related to the show, but I get they've got some kind of embargo and
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Again, it'd be even if it just came with a poncho,
Yeah.
something like that. If it was a repack of the Amazon 2-pack version, at least it's different. But yeah, it's just a yawn on this one. And like 80s Kid mentions, it'd have been better if Ahsoka had got an updated head. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
make the head tails longer. Another figure we already know about that got a reveal at Comic-Con was R2. I'd actually forgotten about this because I was under the assumption that it was only coming out on the anniversary card. I'd completely forgot that it was coming out in the main line as well. So I was like, oh great, I don't have to pay the vintage card premium for it. So yeah, buzzing about that. I think we touched on this a little bit in detail in the celebration stream we did a few months back. So I think we don't really need to go into tons of detail here, but love it.
Cool.
Buzzing.
Is that on a Mandalorian themed box?
It is, yeah. Bizarrely. I'm surprised about that, to be honest. But
That's really silly because on the mural it's not even going to line up next to Luke.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that makes sense, but current media, put it in something that's popular. Sell.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like JC's just pointed out. I mean, you with the embargoes and stuff on accessories and spoilers and what have you. That's probably why I'm guessing they haven't done a Lars Mikkelsen throne yet.
Yeah.
It's like it's like why is there this massive insistence on embargoes and spoilers when you don't get stuff from new media for another. I mean, how long did it take us to get Cobb Vanth from the Black Series? How long has it taken us to get him in Vintage Collection? It's still not arrived.
To be honest, it screwed everything up so much that we don't actually have a proper book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So go figure on that one.
It's bizarre. It really is. I mean, again, 80s Kid, why did Hasbro pick Mandalorian instead of Return of the Jedi? Got to agree. I can't understand why it didn't come on.
I think it should have been on a New Hope box.
Yeah. I'm struggling to figure out what's the little black accessory that he comes with, because in some images it looks like a little blaster, and I'm like, where the hell is that from?
It's like a little welding thing. I think you see it when he's fixing C-3PO and Empire.
Okay. I didn't know what it was. I was like, oh, why is it coming?
To be honest, I saw Landspeeder Luke's review of it this morning, and he questioned whether it was a reference to the Star Wars Family Guy special.
Yeah, fair. I get that. Luke mentions this is the best variant of Black Series packaging so far, as it's the most visually appealing. Hasn't been around that long. Agreed. I was one of the biggest advocates for Black Series packaging refreshers back in the days of the red and black. So yeah, I've got to agree. I love this packaging as well. It's really, really nice. Even if you're a mint in box collector as well, I've got the Mando in Beskar armor in an acrylic case on my Mando shelf, and that mural artwork is just some of the best they've done.
What I love seeing in people's collections is when they've actually got the boxes all lined up.
Yeah,
and you've got the figures in front of it. It just looks so cool.
If you follow Yakface on Instagram, he's got all his shelves. He's got the figures in front of the boxes, and they look. I wish I had the shelf space to do it because they look so good.
Yeah,
they really, really do. But yeah, really, really nice packaging. But that's about all that's different about this one, as we're getting it on a Return of the Jedi card as well. A third figure that we already knew about. I don't know why this was revealed or announced in the little junket from Comic-Con, because I thought we touched on this in the celebration stream, but she's here nonetheless. Ahsoka.
Sold out.
Hey.
Why? I just went. I got the, like I said, I went through the packet of images from.
I don't think they even showed this at the panel.
I'm confused then.
Yeah, me too, man.
Because she was lumped in there with R2, and I know she was in the booth. She was in the display case.
Yeah, they had them on display.
But yeah, I'm a little bit puzzled as to why we are it. Because I mean, because at first I was like, does she come in a different box? But no, I think this is copy and paste what we got what we got revealed at Celebration. I mean, don't get me wrong, fantastic figure, but like Dan said,
sold out.
Bleeding things sold out.
Good luck.
So, but I love this one. I really, really love it. I can't wait to get it if I can get it.
I'll sort you out, mate. I bought two like an idiot, like you know, when you blame me for it last time when I ordered two.
Why don't you do that more often, James?
Well, I do. I just don't admit it. Like I said, I'm an idiot.
Well,
so when there are multiple pre-orders, I'm a broken person, as we've discussed. So my anxiety goes to a point of, do you remember back in the day, like when The Force Awakens sort of come out and Black Series pre-orders were just crazy? If you didn't pre-order it, you didn't get it because distribution was abysmal.
Yeah.
So it stems all the way from then, right? And so I sit on one of the fan sites when they go live, and if the servers aren't cooperating or if they sell out, my girlfriend has then sat on Hasbro Pulse to secure me one. As much as I don't like using them, so if you need an Ahsoka, Steve, we can sort you that out.
Nice one, mate. I'll hold you to that because I need this. I should have pre-ordered it when it went up, but like an idiot, I was like, no, I only need Malek for now. Fool.
I'll be charging to Thin Planet. I'll try Thin Planet when it comes out the weekend.
Well, another figure that we didn't know about. I like this.
Yeah, it's wicked.
I like it a lot. Images in the booth didn't look that great, especially in the face. But
I thought that little square jaw.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was to do with just the fact that they were prototypes or not, but like
could be.
Painting around the eyes looked a bit sloppy, and like you said, the jaw looked a bit off.
Shall we just get the little negative bit out of the way before we praise it?
Go on.
They've started cutting the articulation back again, because on this Sabine and even the upcoming Darth Malgus figure, they've taken the thigh rotation out.
Ooh, yeah.
I've noticed that as well.
I've noticed that with when I got not Star Wars related, but
it's even on the new Cad Bane figure. No thigh cut.
Really? Oh.
Yep.
Oh. Wow.
I don't know if it's just because they've got holsters, in which case I can understand it, but Malgus doesn't.
That's never stopped them doing it before.
Yeah.
Because they've even done it. They've even put thigh swivels in where the holsters have been attached to the legs, like case in point episode 4 Han. Yeah.
There was a variant of the Rebel Sabine that had it, where there was a variant where they were pegged into the legs opposed to free swinging, and she has thigh cuts. So I don't know, man.
Not on board with that.
No,
I do like a thigh cut. Not gonna lie. Yeah, not great, but
it's a good looking figure. And to be fair, what you're gonna have Hera doing on your shelf other than standing there?
Yeah, that's a good point, JC. Yeah. I didn't think of that. To be fair, it is.
I had it with
I agree to a certain extent, but with the new Cad Bane, you start rotating them knees out to give the feet sort of the correct angling, and you start seeing the joints then flaring out from the sides of, they sort of sculpt a little knee cover over the joint.
Yeah,
it starts poking through and looking a touch unnatural. I mean, it might not be for every figure, but
it's one of those, isn't it?
It's not good, is
it? It's just something that we've become so accustomed to that it just seems weird when they don't put it in.
I'd be interested to see how the actual ball joint on the thigh works, because Cad Bane's feels like it's got more of a bit of side to side movement, so you can shift them in and out a little bit. But I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Strange.
Accessories for me again. Can't.
Yeah, it needs more.
It's just it looks so empty. It's like there's a blaster.
It's the same issue I had with the Rebels Hera as well.
Yeah.
When she came out, like even if they just put a Rebel, because I've got mine displayed with a Rebels blaster, with a Rebel fleet blaster.
Oh yeah.
Just because it looks a little bit different and it shakes things up a little bit. I mean, you could have put a Calicorian with this figure.
Calicori, yes.
That'd have been awesome.
Definitely. Oh, if they'd have put it in with this figure, they could have put Kanan's little ponytail on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That'd
yeah.
have been good. Yeah.
I like that.
Calicori, Lothcat, anything. They could have just put 2X. It wouldn't even need to be a deluxe because it'd just be 2 accessories.
They could have done a 2-pack with Jason, really. I don't think they've been shy with the material for it because Lego have got a minifigure coming out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, true.
Chopper.
But the Lego figure doesn't really give away too much about his appearance, though, does it?
Yeah, that's fair.
Unless the rumors are true and the Ahsoka series does introduce a multiverse and Jason ends up being a Lego variant.
Oh man, are you as sick and tired as I am of seeing those articles?
Yeah, it's like it's not a new thing.
Tell me you've not watched Star Wars without telling me you've not watched Star Wars.
Do you know what? While we're on the subject, there, I'm really excited for Ahsoka just because I can't begin to fathom out where it's going to go, how it's going to end, what the consequences are going to be, or anything. But like, I'm just going into it completely blind because it's just like, what the hell is going to happen?
Oh yeah,
I love that. I don't think we've had that for a while. I feel like it's sort of there with Mando because we don't know where that's ultimately going to lead. But at the same time, there's always that. Well, maybe this is going to happen, and you've got a rough idea of how
that latest trailer was just unbelievable. Like every time I'm scrolling Facebook and I see it pop up again, I'm like, oh, go on, one more, won't it? Will it? Then it goes on.
I can't wait for it. I think Dan, if you're still up for it, mate, I don't think I'm away when it premieres. So I know I'm on holiday at the end of August. But if I'm still at home, I think live stream watch.
When's it out?
23rd.
Oh no!
And I'm working the late shift that day. Oh yes.
Good. Is 23rd your birthday?
No, I'll be here, but it's worky boy.
See, I can't do it the weekend after either because I'm on holiday. So.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll get a stream going where we.
Shall we let the series air and then just do like a big roundtable type thing? Because we did that with Mando, didn't we? We just discussed the first episode and then kind of forgot all about it.
Yeah, we struggled a little bit, didn't we? Yeah. Fair point. Ignore me. But yeah, Hera Black Series, top marks.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. I figure I'm looking a little bit more forward to though. Oh, because it's got me. Your taste buds going.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be. I don't know about you guys. This is going to be my first Ahsoka merchandise purchase because this is. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm there with you, Steve. It's great, man. I mean,
I think for me, what it is that I'm so jaded by that Rebels release because she feels so spindly and she falls over all the time, and the head sculpt's not great. On mine, the helmet's actually started to split as well because it's such a tight fit.
Oh,
bloody hell!
It's not actually separated yet, but there is a little. You can tell that with a little bit more force, it's just going to go ping.
That's one of the figures I made a point of buying the photo reel update for, just because of how awful the production was on the original release.
Yeah, it's so bad.
That was scary.
I've got a helmeted on the shelf because that head sculpt's shocking. Even the paint on the hair's pants, it's not good.
Yeah, man. Of all the pointless repaints we've gotten as well, and they never gave us a Season 2 repaint of that figure.
I know, they should have done that with the photo reel one, I think.
Yeah.
I know it wouldn't have tied in with the Season 1 looks for the other characters, but just to make it worthwhile purchasing again, it should have It should have had that extra paint, but this one looks awesome. So, and it looks a lot more. It looks a lot sturdier. It looks a lot more rigid. It's a lot more along the lines of the Cosca Reeves and Bo-Katan figures, which I think are the perfect female Mandalorian sculpts.
100% new sculpt as well. They said at San Diego. A lot of people are saying it's Bo-Katan reuse. It's not.
I was wondering that, but I would imagine there's going to be differences in terms of the outfits. But yeah.
But again, no thigh cut again, if you can see from the pictures.
I can't quite tell just from that, but I'll go back and have a look. But it does look so good, doesn't it?
There's just so many cool details. Like the blasters are 2 different colors.
Yeah.
The lightsaber.
They could have got away with not doing that. Oh yeah, the lightsaber. That's cool.
That lightsaber just, in my opinion, it just goes against everything that Hasbro set out to do by not including Luke's lightsaber with that first release of Rey in The Force Awakens. It's like, what were you doing? Why? Why did it matter? Like, this is the same exact situation. Like, why the hell has Sabine got Ezra's lightsaber?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious at this point, but like, that's a spoiler in itself. So, I don't get it.
Did you guys see any of the pictures of the props that they had on display at San Diego Comic-Con?
I did,
from Ahsoka. Yeah. It's because it was puzzling me because I saw an Instagram short after Celebration because they showed basically all the footage in the new trailer. That a lot of that was the exclusive stuff for Celebration. What we saw, and everybody was saying it wasn't Ezra's lightsaber because the emitter was different. And if you see Rebels, obviously they go through the Macquarie concept style of having the thinner lightsaber blades. And so the emitter matches that. And I thought, well, maybe it's just like a live action adaptation of that design. Yeah. It's actually like 2 separate plates that are screwed in. Yes, screws in Star Wars. Screwed into Ezra's, like the emitter for Ezra's lightsaber. That's got to have a story to it. Like, why otherwise?
We will see next month. But yeah, just going back to accessories on this one. I mean, like we're talking about with Hera, where she only comes with 1 blaster. This is top stuff. I love this. I would have liked
the bag, but I'll let them off.
Yeah, me too. But I love it when a figure comes with different display options, like the fact that you can holster the blasters, display the lightsaber. Has she got a hilt clip? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's got a little hook on the belt.
There we go then. Displayability options, top tier. Yeah, love it. Head sculpt's amazing as well. The likeness is really, really good.
Oh yeah, man. Like I don't think they could have actually cast anybody that was more of a spit of the animation design. So just such a cool figure.
Yeah, I am so excited to see her character in action. Like I can't wait to see how her story plays out because you know for a fact somewhere, somehow it's going to tie into Mandalorian and what's going on with Din and Bo, and it's got to, hasn't it? It's got to come together.
I think Ahsoka is supposed to run at the same point in time that season 3 of The Mandalorian happens. But I don't know if there'll be any tie-ins for the first season, but Dave's got a big master plan, as we know.
Of course he has. I love what JC's just said as well. It's kind of crazy that when Rebels ended, I would never have guessed that they would continue the story in live action. Me neither. Who had that on the bingo card? Certainly not me. I just had it down as like, oh, well, it's done now. We're not going to get the end of that story. I feel like a lot of new Star Wars fans that watch live action are going to be confused. Yeah, but I'm grateful to Dave that he's clarified that you don't have to watch the entirety of Rebels to know what's going on. Because I'll admit, I've only watched each episode once, with the exception of the Vader and Ahsoka duel, because I can watch that on repeat for 10 hours. But I could probably do with a rewatch, especially the last season, just to catch up on where we're at. But I think Dave has clarified that you don't need to have seen Rebels to be...
That's it. They always have to cater to the new audience as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I rewatched Rebels a few weeks ago, and it ages like fine wine.
So good,
I remember when everybody moaned about the animation because of the budget cuts. But man, so nice. It's so well designed, and
It's just all
I
the
love it,
Macquarie
man. I love
homages.
it.
I love all the
Yeah.
Macquarie nods. It's just so good. So good. Really excited for it. But yeah, excited for the show, excited for this figure. Excited to watch Rebels again. It's getting me. It's like being in. It's like 2014 all over again. I love it. I love it. So I think this wraps up our Black Series reveals with our next. I was going to say save the best till last, but I just feel like, oh man, when you talk missed opportunities, do they come any bigger than this? Oh man, I made an Instagram story about this when it was revealed, and I just said this is the most bitter-sweet Black Series release ever, because on the one hand, he's finally here. On the other hand, it uses Jango bloody Fett as a base.
That Jango Fett body just needs to get in the sea at this point, because it's just shocking.
I feel like it just needs a moment of silence. It's just, why?
It's so annoying because from those images, it looks superb. Like, the carded image doesn't look great because he's a big bulky boy.
The head.
But the head's cool.
The head.
What the hell is going on with
He's
that?
ginger. Man? Why is he ginger?
Yeah, it's weird. It's very, very weird. But all the in-action shots of him, all the loose shots look awesome. And it's like, God damn it, I need it. But I know it's going to be a pain in the arse to stand on my shelf.
Yeah, I was going to say that's after they've photoshopped all the blue tack out.
Yeah, because he's got arched feet. Oh man, it's so annoying.
It's not a week in my collection room if the Darth Maul painted version doesn't fall back on the shelf.
Yes.
I've got that figure as well, and I love it so much aesthetically, but
yeah,
the logistics of that figure is, and I'm good because I've got a little Clone Wars section for Black Series, but he's right at the back because I'm like, you get over there because you're toss.
You will not play dominoes today, sir.
No, get over there. So he's leaning against the back of my bookcase, but
you can't pose it well either. You only can do the Jango Fett stance.
I think and considering this one comes with the Darksaber as well. I mean, I'm sure Hasbro have taken images of it where he's holding it with two hands, but that's going to be a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that, to be fair, because you can't even get 90 on the bloody Albus, can you?
It's not good. I mean, Luke's mentioned, even with the inaccuracies, it's great to see it. On the other hand, they were so close. It's not even the fact that it's inaccurate, because it's accurate. It's just bad.
Yeah.
It's just a bad sculpt because there's barely any posability. It's just like JC said, it's just a dated sculpt.
I think the gauntlets are actually inaccurate. That might be where he's referring to. I saw somebody post about that. I don't know the specifics, but apparently so.
Yeah, because I imagine they're just going to be Jango.
Actually, yeah, in the Clone Wars, he shoots those little razor blades and like rockets and such.
Yeah.
Shadow Demon says maybe they use Jango's body because both got decapitated. Lol. Yeah.
Very well done.
Fair play.
That joke was done better than this figure.
It was.
I would have. I don't know if I would have preferred it if they'd included. They won't work because it's season 1, isn't it? And season 1 has different armor, but
it's not even a case of what they could have included and what they couldn't have included. They could have. It just needed new tooling because I don't think we made the argument, didn't we, James, that it should have used the Fleet Commander sculpt, the Mandalorian from the Mandalorian.
Yeah, either that or the Death Watch Mandalorian, because it's more or less a bare bones body with a torso overlay.
Yeah, maybe
they could have done that.
Retool the legs slightly for different arms.
Yeah,
and the holsters. It wouldn't have. It could have. They could have done this as a kit bash. So the fact that they just went with pure repack and they used Jango, it's like who approved that in that meeting? Who thought, yep, it doesn't matter that it's using this body because the collectors are going to love it.
I think it's even worse. Oh, sorry, James. Oh.
No, you're all right, mate. Go on.
I was going to say it's even worse when they've announced the Vintage Collection one, and the Vintage Collection one just absolutely wheeze on this completely.
I was going to say they often seemingly downscale Black Series sculpts for Vintage Collection, so why can they not upscale the Vintage for Black Series?
I mean, when you look at it, I don't know if either of you guys have got the Vintage Collection Mando Super Commander or the Death Watch Mando from Clone Wars.
Yeah,
but
I did
they look like the Mando Super Commando, especially the Maul DeLorean. He looks like a scaled down Jango. Yeah. I thought that when I bought it, but even then, it still wheeze on the Black Series one.
Yeah. It's much better proportioned.
Yeah. And so I'm looking at that Vintage Collection previously, and I'm thinking the same thing, that is a scaled down version of this. But like you said, the proportions and the stance and all that sort of stuff are just better on the Vintage one, and I just don't understand why they went with this. Really, really poor choice.
Like I said to you the other day, Dan, this is going to be best posed at Maul's feet.
Yeah.
Because he's going to end up there anyway.
Giving him the Darksaber again.
Like I said, it's so bittersweet because in the loose shots he looks fantastic. He looks amazing. But practicality wise, he's just going to be a bit of a.
The helmet's nice. That's all I can really say. The helmet's cool. That's just a cool design in its own right.
That's it.
Just no imposing those arms with that Darksaber. You're just not going to get what you want, and it's
going to be a pain.
Just getting.
But like a full. Like I said this to you guys in our little group chat, didn't I, before we went on air? I said that I'm a fool because I know for a fact this is probably going to be one of the only goes at this character that we're going to get in Black Series.
Yeah. I heard he pre-ordered it.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm gonna buy it because it's. I don't know.
It's been done dirty by Hasbro as well, according to Star Action Figures.
Don't even get me started on that. I'll get onto that in a minute, but in terms of sculpt and stuff, it's another original release Black Chrysanthemum for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to get this figure out and we want to get this character out, so let's just wob it out as quickly as we can without the care and thought that's gone into the newer one. So I'm scared that I'm going to get this and then a couple of years down the line we're going to get an updated version on a better body, but can't take that risk, lads. Can't take that risk. Gotta get it.
You can't.
Gotta get it. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, what you were saying about the Star Action Figures thing, I'm mad, man. I'm mad.
Yeah.
I actually went on to pre-order him. And when you go onto the page to pre-order him, it says, "Sorry guys, you can't have him unless you pre-order the wave."
And you don't know what's in the wave.
Don't know what's in the wave yet. I know some people don't have a problem doing that, and whatever. But I was like, what? I just want I know I want this figure.
Yeah.
So why can I not pre-order it now without pre-ordering
Face has got a bit of a wave breakdown. If you're interested in having a look.
But you scroll a bit further down, and what do you know? It's due to low stock allocation from Hasbro. So, but I'm not pre-ordering it from Hasbro Pulse just out of principle.
That sold out anyway, apparently. I think it lasted all of 5 minutes and in demand.
Yeah.
So I got mine. But
what's the wave breakdown then?
I think at the minute there's 3 unknown, and then it's I'll get it up actually. Save just guessing it because I think it's a pretty recent post. Yeah. He says that, and now he won't be able to actually find the blooming thing.
Well, Jake,
here we go. So it's just wave question mark because apparently these waves are coming out before the ones with the Magna Guard and Clone Wars Ahsoka. So there's supposedly 2 waves between that before Christmas. You'll have Pre Vizsla, Ahsoka Hera, that Mandalorian box R2D2, and then 2 that have just still got code names. And then Ahsoka and Sabine will be in a wave after that with 4 others, 4 others.
No.
But it is stupid. No doubt when it actually comes out, there'll just be a surplus of stock anyway, like we've come to see.
That keeps happening, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
saying it's sold out, and then there's just a ton of them available.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
wish
like-
they still did that, JC. That'd be immense.
I know, but like
The
they
amount
said,
of
they were
boxes
gonna
I
do it.
get.
I feel like we're on the precipice of something though, because like again, if you follow Star Action Figures on Facebook, they keep alluding to the fact that something, better times are coming in terms of distribution and stock allocation and wave assortments and all that sort of stuff. And I feel like we're on the precipice of something great, but it's just taking its time for them to get their act together and to get things sorted out. And one of the things that annoys me so much is that, especially with modern day Hasbro, is the fact that you get these reveals and then you pre-order it and then it's revealed and it's ready to go, but you can't have it for another 2 years. The fact that I've only just got the fourth sister Inquisitor.
Oh yeah, that was over a year ago. Once it's on pre-order,
that's insane. Like, what's going on? Why is stuff so topsy-turvy? Why is stuff so all over the place? It's bizarre. It really,
Kiadimundi, they did it with him. They were like, "Oh, he's a really cool figure, but you can't have it till spring 2024."
Insane.
Why?
Yeah.
So it's a celebration, and it was so cool, and it's an exclusive as well. So naturally, everybody in the US will get shafted with that.
Yeah.
But you can't have it till next year, lads. Sat in a factory somewhere. Can't have it till next year.
It's so weird.
Just you wait.
It's so strange. But yeah, give every character equal premiership. Yeah, that's it. That's something that they need to do away with as well. 1 per case. Get rid of that.
Pre-Vistler is apparently 2 per case.
Oh, that's surprising. It might not be as hard to get hold of as
that's if you want to believe what Yakface has posted, but I mean, he accurately predicted a Star Killer a year ago.
Also said about HK47, didn't he?
Yeah.
Still not.
Yeah, I think so.
There we go. So to go back to a question that we got in the comments a little while back, so I think that just about wraps up the reveals. I mean, we'll touch base on the pipeline stuff in just a bit, and we'll just cover that before we wrap things up completely. But like I said, to go back to a comment we got earlier, favorite reveal from Comic-Con.
The ghost.
I'll go to you, Dan. Well, you've just said it, bugger. I'll go to you first, James. What's your?
Oh, I don't know, Steve. That's a hard one. That would be the ghost.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get shill tattooed on my forehead, mate.
What about you, Dan? Like,
I mean,
it's hard, isn't it? I think it's harder for us to pick something when the natural response is what James said.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, for me, in terms of the ghost, it's like, yeah, sweet. Am I gonna get it? Stop it, James. I like the look of the ghost. It's a dope thing, but something that I know that I'm gonna get. Thrawn.
What, vintage?
Vintage collection Thrawn.
Wow. You heard it
To
first,
be
guys.
honest,
He's changed his tune.
You know what? Not a single Black Series figure.
Oh, JC, please don't.
Didn't actually, didn't tickle me pickle.
Wow, I'm shook.
Yeah.
See, my favorite reveal was the ghost. In terms of what was revealed, like the best thing that was revealed was the ghost.
Absolutely.
The best thing I'm going to buy that was revealed, unless I sell one of my 500 quid pops, is I'm probably going to go with Black Series Sabine, just because it's something that I'm just going to jump on it as soon as it's available. I think the 10th of August is the date pre-orders for those Ahsoka figures.
6 o'clock, is it, for us?
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, Sabine she's getting an instant pre-order.
Do you mind if I just address Adam's question, or about that Hot Toys Anakin?
Yeah, go for it. Because I was going to ask.
Oh man, they revealed this really cool looking Anakin hot toy, and it's Hayden Christensen in 1/12, 1/6 scale.
Yeah, I saw
it. And then they were like,
they had that original image, and I was like, oh, that looks a bit,
yeah.
What's going on there? But then they must have released another image of it where it's like, oh, that's spot on. That's really good.
I mean, the original one that I've got goes for over 500 quid because naturally it's a popular character and they don't want to remake it until now, and is now limited to 3,000 pieces only, to the point where all the Hong Kong sellers are already charging over 500 quid for it.
Bloody hell.
Sideshow, from what I've heard, will be able to distribute a fraction of it.
Christ.
And
Bloody hell.
mate, it's wound me up because within the space of 24 hours, I went from going, Hot Toys will never deliver the product looking as good as those pictures because they can't do rooted hair to save their life, to seeing more of it and then being like, do you know what, I need it. I have to have this.
Yeah.
And then I missed 2 opportunities to put deposits down, but then saw what the sellers were listing it for, and they won't be paying that much for it overseas. So it's.
I'm glad that we've had an opportunity to touch on sort of non-Hasbro reveals from Comic Con, because there were a few, weren't there? I mean, there were some absolutely killer Micro Galaxy Squadron reveals.
Yeah, boy.
Like, I know he's excited about that, but I think for me,
2025. Come on, let's have it. Free. Bargain bins. I'm on it.
It is a pain, isn't it? Because UK distribution of that line seems
abysmal.
to the least.
They couldn't answer a single thing really at Celebration. I felt so bad for them because you can tell they want to sell stuff, but our retailers are just.
That's the thing, innit? Because like, there's so many. Like, I'm dipping my toes in the line at the minute. I've got the Razor Crest and I've got the Republic gunship. I have every intent to get the N1 when that comes out, and I'd love to get all the Republic gunship variants, but there's just no sign of them. There's no indication when we're going to get them over here. It's like, what's going on there?
Dan, have you seen the Havoc Marauder showing up for like $13 on discount overseas?
Oh, no.
And we can't even get it. It's like in Walmart for $13. It's not over here yet.
It's like a lot of them. There's like the pod racing pack. They're getting the 8080 pack, of which I'm like, I want that so badly.
Yeah.
That Battle of Coruscant set, that looks mint.
That does look really good.
Perfection.
Yeah,
we ain't getting it.
But I think for me, favourite like non-Hasbro reveal, I'm all in on that Bandai Tamashii Nations Obi-Wan. Oh that God.
Samurai type one.
Yeah, boy. Oh man, because I love that line. I love that line so much. Like I go off about Hasbro prices and the cost of action figures, but the minute I see a Bandai Tamashii Nations figure that I'm like, yep, need that, and it's 107. Like, I picked up the Beskar Mandalorian and Grogu from Forbidden Planet when I went to New York last year. I paid $170 for it before tax, and I'm not even sorry. And I don't regret it. And it's the best thing ever. And when they showed that Obi-Wan, I was like, I love that. And they're doing another Vader to go with it as well. And there's that. I'm hoping all the flame effects and stuff are available.
They deliver those guys.
They really do. Like, the quality is just, it's so good. But I'm like, I love the Obi-Wan. It looks awesome. But where's IG-88? Where's the Gammy Guard that you revealed concept art for? At Star Wars Celebration Europe 2016. Where's that at?
And then they had some samples of the IG-88, I'm sure. I'm sure they had a sample.
Yeah, I'm sure they've shown that somewhere.
They had like I said, they had the concept art for it at Celebration when we went 7 years ago. So
if they do IG-88, I'm on it. I'm on it.
I want the Gamorrean. They were on about doing Padme at one point, like Queen Amidala, like,
that'd be good.
Give me everything, man. I need to do some reviews on those figures because the Royal Guard is just, the Mandalorian is just, the Kylo Ren is just, They're just stunning figures, man. They are so good. I love it. It's a line I'm all in on. I just absolutely love it, and I'm such an hypocrite for it because I play hell about pricing and all that sort of thing, but it's good stuff, man. It's good crack. Jacob has just mentioned, since you guys are going to get the Ghost Sith Lord, I saw your room tour of your figures. Do you have room for it? I don't have room for it, Jacob, mate, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not going to buy it. Unless between now and it being released and I've still got time to back it, I happen to move house and I've got a bigger collection room, then I'm not going to be buying it anytime soon. But
hang it from your wall.
Are you kidding? My ceiling will come in.
Especially
we don't
with
wanna
all the
do-
ships you've got.
Exactly. I'm not doing that again. Bloody hell. But yeah. Oh, I would love it. I really would. But yeah, just no room for it, mate, I'm afraid.
No.
So that brings us to a close on the reveal side of things. But I thought we'd just before we do wrap up, let's just quickly touch on the pipeline reveals, and we'll talk about the Black Series pipelines first. I haven't got images for them, so you'll just have to bear with us and
imagine.
Yeah,
Paint a picture in your mind.
Imagine what they look like. But yeah, so for Black Series, pipeline reveals, things that are on the way, and a couple of surprises as well, to be fair, because like I said, I didn't watch the panel, so I wasn't sure of what was said about each of these pipeline reveals. So the way that these are going to be released kind of caught me off guard, but we've got a Jedi Fallen Order 3-pack consisting of a Purge Trooper, a Second Sister, and Cal Kestis in Inquisitor disguise. I'm intrigued. I'm curious as to what they're going to do, because I feel like the Purge Trooper's just going to be a repack with a new weapon, I imagine. The Second Sister, I hope it's brand new, but I'm fully expecting retool with a new head. The Cal Kestis, I would hazard a guess, is probably going to be new, or it's going to be a lazy retool with Cal's head on Fifth Brother's body or something like that.
Oh, they better not do that.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm cautiously optimistic on that one. I know we were saying Dan weren't with it. I hope that they redo completely from the ground up the Second Sister, because that first figure is just toss. It's not good.
Garbage. Absolute garbage.
What about you, James? What do you think about that one?
Oh, I don't know, man. They better at least make Cal Kestis new, because I don't even think the Fifth Brother's correctly proportioned for a humanoid. Do you know what I mean? He's got massive feet. I mean, so do I, but it's very alien-like, I suppose, and they can't just slap another head on that. I want an unhelmeted head for the Second Sister, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. I doubt it. But
I think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be an unmasked head, but just on the old body. But I think the body itself needs.
I hope so. I'm a little bit tired though, because the games are fantastic. I love the games. I don't love the fact that we just get the same characters over and over again in different flavors.
Yeah.
Where's Merrin? Where's Grease? Where's Seer? Where's Eno Cordova? The actual characters that provide, story for the game, not Purge Trooper after Purge Trooper or a different version of Cal. I mean, you can change Cal so much in Jedi Survivor in the most ludicrous of ways.
Yeah. I love
I don't need figures of that. I don't need figures of that, mate. Oh.
Redneck mullet version of Cal. I love that.
I'm a bit of a purist, so when I'm playing these games, I will play them with like whatever the canon intended appearance is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then if I do a replay, then I'll just mess around. But it's so rich with characters that they don't want to do.
I think you hit the nail.
I know he's in the new game, but I want a Turgle.
Well, I mean, it's like they've got the.
I want Scuba Stev.
Yes, Scuba Stev.
See, they've got the tool in there that they could just sort of rework Zeb into what's his bloody name?
Jarrett Paul.
That's the one. I nearly said Fiddler on the Roof, but that's a different tool. Yeah, they've got the tool in there for something like that. So give us something like that, or like you said, Merrin's.
Mate, what a character!
Like, we've got no Night Sister representation in Black Series as it is. So if you're going to do one, do Merrin, because at least it ties into new media. But there you go. It is what it is. Second pipeline reveal we got was the Droidica, the Destroyer droid. Very very, very curious to see how they handle this one, because there's going to be an expectation there, and are they going to meet it?
Can I roll it across my carpet?
Exactly.
Will it roll? Will it come with the blast shield?
Will it blend?
Will it blend? These are all questions. I need to see the product before I get.
Yeah. I mean, for me, deluxe it, stick a shield on it. I'm there. I'll have it.
It could be the next best Black Series. It could also be
the worst.
The worst.
Yeah. It's going to be a fine line, isn't it?
Yeah. The plastic choice will be important. Needs 100%. To be something of actual quality, not something that's going to fall down when we have a 30-degree spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
General Grievous, cough.
General Grievous, the OGB one. You know, there's a lot that can go wrong, but there's a lot that they can really just pull out of the bag with this one and just blow our minds. And I'm hoping it's the latter, because I really don't want this one to be a disappointment, because it's a figure that we've waited so long for, and if it's bad, it's going to be so sad.
It's so disappointing.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, in terms of how they execute it, because I'm guessing it's not going to go on in a basic box.
No.
They're going to have to do something a little bit special with it.
Bigger square boxes, I would imagine, unless it's going to come in parts.
It's possible.
Yeah, they could do. I mean, that's the perfect opportunity to do a plastic-free box, I suppose. Yeah. Do it in pieces, stick it in one of those. Bob's your uncle, sorted. But yeah, I've got a feeling it'll be a deluxe. Just based on how it's going to be packed into the box. And like I said, if you're going to deluxe it, stick a shield generator with it, pull out a shield, with it, pull a hat out of the bag or whatever the phrase is from 30th anniversary collection, and give us a half shield and make us buy two. Make us buy two, and we'll just make the shield translucent, please, and not a solid blue. That'd be nice.
That'd be good, yeah.
But yeah, like I said, again, cautiously optimistic, because it could be the best figure that we've ever seen. It could be equally as bad. The final Black Series pipeline was another one that surprised me, because I didn't realise it was a 2-pack. And again, it's one of those where I'm like, how are they going to execute it, and how is it going to be delivered? Because again, I didn't watch the panel, so if either you guys can elaborate, then by all means go ahead. But the B2 Super Battle Droid and Geonosis C-3PO, I'm really, really excited for this, but I'm not sure on the logistics, because how's C-3PO going to come? Is he going to come with... Is it going to be a C-3PO figure with a Battle Droid head? Is it going to be a Battle Droid with a C-3PO head? What are we going to get? And
they didn't really say much at the panel, but the picture they used was the Battle Droid body with the C-3PO head. So I presume that's what it'll be.
It would blow me away if they did the Chewbacca thing. You know, when Chewbacca had the little net with the 3PO in the back? If they actually did all three. So that would be mint.
That's what I mean, because my first interpretation of that is, we're going to get a rusty 3PO. And I'm all on board for that. And I think in all honesty, I think I'd prefer a rusty 3PO with a Battle Droid head than vice versa.
Yeah.
Because that Battle Droid body needs some work, like we've just touched on. Or if they completely redo the Battle Droid, I'd be all for it. But I think for me, if they're going to do it one way or the other, I think I want 3PO's body, Battle Droid head.
Oh, Commando Droid would just be... that'd be immense.
Tactical as well. Tactical Droid would be sick.
Yeah.
Really, really good. But yeah, what about you guys? Where are you on that one?
It's all right. Like you say, it's questionable. If they'd have done a 3PO 2-pack, how you've just described, they could have just done the Super Battle Droid as a deluxe with an interchangeable rocket arm. So, I don't know, man.
That's another one, though, where the Super Battle Droid's plastic could be in question, because he's a bit spindly on his bottom half, isn't he?
Yeah, his legs are quite thin.
Heavy. Yeah.
So let's
one of the multi-packs is an Amazon exclusive as well, and if it's this one, not the Fallen Order one, I can't remember which one it is. I'm sure it was mentioned, though, at the panel. They're a bloody nightmare to get.
I think it was the Fallen Order one.
I hope so, mate. I hope so.
It said it was an Amazon. I could be wrong, but...
See, the only Battle Droid Black Series figure that I've picked up so far is the Gaming Greats one. from Battlefront, and it's
Oh, yeah.
you know, the maroon one with the massive.
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm not a fan of that really.
No, I only picked it up because it was the second battle droid they did after the Phantom Menace one, and I missed out on the original one because I'd have had that
The
one.
original is better.
Is it?
Yeah, it's meant that is.
All the other battle droids that came later, there's something. I think it's something to do with the mold, and it's because they've probably overused it or the plastic.
Yeah.
Like the original one isn't perfect, but it's better than the others. It stands better than the others. I don't know if it's just me. But...
If you can get the Republic Commando one, that's wicked. That one is just the paint and the massive eyes on it for a start, but the plastic's rigid as anything, so it stands perfectly.
I might have to get that one then, because I do want because I do feel like JC said, battle droids have been criminally underserved in Black Series. They've been done really dirty, and I feel like I'm not helping with that because I haven't picked up a single one they've done since that Gaming Greats one. But if the other ones are better, then it might be something I touch on, because I think a couple of those are on sale at the minute. I think Star Action Figures got them pretty cheap. So
yeah, I think the Jedi Survivor one's pretty cheap.
Yeah, might jump.
That one's quite sturdy. That one's all right.
Yeah, JC's made a really good point about the OG Clone Wars battle droid legs as well. Like, I'm looking at my shelf, and all my battle droids and super battle droids are all like this. All having a bit of a nosedive. So yeah, let's go back and
they're just doing a twerk. That's all mine are doing.
Yeah, but that was it for Black Series pipelines. I mean, we're touching on 2.5 hours now, so I'm going to wrap things up pretty quick. So I'm going to rush through the vintage collection pipelines and then just go over what we just rough thoughts. So for vintage collection pipeline, we've got Axe Woves, Rogue One Cassian, Clone Trooper Phase 1, I believe, Count Dooku, Finn from Force Awakens, Grogu, Mandalorian Commander, and Din Djarin. That's a mixed bag if ever I saw one. Cause
Count Dooku's the top tier choice, let's be honest.
Yeah, because it's the most in-demand one.
Yeah.
But some of
I feel like the rest of them have suffered for that very reason.
Yep.
Yeah, well, there's that. And also, do we really need them? I mean, we were talking before we came on air, like, Axe Woves, there are some differences between his Season 2 and Season 3 appearance. But is anybody really...
I do want that. Come on now. I thought it was cool in Season 3, like when he's crashing that light cruiser down. I was like, "Don't you die now! You better fly out that window."
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like as a character, he was so much better in Season 3 than he was in Season 2. But I can't say after noticing those subtle changes in the armor that I'm clamoring for a new sculpt. I mean, when it comes to the vintage collection one, especially, that's another case of where the vintage collection figure is miles better, in my opinion, than the Black Series one. And I love that Black Series figure. I love that Death Watch Mando sculpt that it used as a base. But the helmet's wobbly. It's not very good.
Yeah, the helmet's terrible.
I mean, the helmet on the vintage collection one's got issues as well. But overall, like, the head sculpt is far more accurate, in my opinion. The sculpt of the body, the figure is just better, if you ask me. So if it was Black Series and it was getting a nice update, I'd be like, yep, more for that, because the first one was a little bit iffy. But the vintage collection one is fine, and I don't really think it warrants that upgrade just yet.
I know what you're saying. I think in Hasbro's head they've gone, well, the original was a Target exclusive, so let's try a mainline release. That's the only thing I can think of.
Maybe. I don't know. But Rogue One Cassian's another one. Based on the image that they used as well. Based on the image that they used, it's just going to be the same outfit that the previous vintage collection Cassian from Rogue One is. And that's the brown jacket.
I do think that's what it's going to be as well. A couple of the YouTube people, I don't know, off the top of my head, Victoria's Cantina for one.
Mm-hmm.
They went and did a Q&A with the team at the booth, and I think it was Chris said that it's just going to be a repack with photo reel. So I don't know.
Why. That's
Same
such
with
a-
the same with Finn as well, to be honest.
Oh,
But they
that-
couldn't.
Finn's
They couldn't
They're
say
too-
whether or not it would come with additional accessories like a lightsaber. Like that's still in discussion, apparently.
They're
If it
two
came-
really wasted slots.
Yeah.
You know, there's no two ways about it.
I think
if
even
that's
yeah,
if that's the
even-
direction they go with it.
even if they include like additional accessories like the grenade pack that he has in Force Awakens or like the lightsaber, who
It's
cares?
still it's
Yeah.
still quick
I'm
about,
sorry,
innit?
but I love Finn, but
I love Finn.
it didn't sell. It didn't
But-
sell.
give us Rise of Skywalker Finn then.
Yeah.
If they're gonna,
Yeah,
I think,
definitely.
I think now's the time, and I'll say this through gritted teeth because Rise of Skywalker is my least favorite of the sequels. But if they're gonna go into sequel territory with new figures, tap into Rise of Skywalker because there are barely any, especially in 3 3/4 inch. They really need to look into that and do more characters from that film. The Knights of Ren, for Christ's sake, you know.
Do the Knights of Ren
Ben
in a
Solo.
box set. Do the Knights of
Yes.
Ren in a box set rather
Yeah.
than some frigging Imperial officers.
Yeah,
Easy, done, out the gate. Please,
100%.
please.
100% agreed.
Ugh.
But that's Finn and Cassian covered. Phase 1 clone trooper. Is it just going to be the Andor clone with a Phase 1 helmet?
Yeah, most likely. I mean, that's what we got for Black Series.
Yeah, it's fine. I haven't got a problem.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that.
It's what you'd expect.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't got a problem with the original VC Phase 1 clone trooper. To be fair, I might be in a minority, but I don't think that sculpt's any.
No, I mean, it's got thin legs, hasn't it? But
Yeah.
so did the CG renders in the film. So
That's
crack
it.
on.
So yeah. Grogu.
I'm sick and tired of that little
Just
green guy, man.
Get
Like,
in the
come
sea.
on.
I
Get in
mean,
the sea.
I'm all for him, but I mean, again, based on the picture, like we said before we came on, it's going to be half a pram for less money.
Yeah.
For more money,
You can't,
sorry.
you
Less
can't
pram,
even
more
make
money.
a good figure out of it anymore, though. In the
No.
series, he's getting cool things like that. He's got the chainmail shit and he's got the roundel. How you meant to see that on a figure that small when he has it under his robe anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you going to do? Just paint the colour silver? Oh, mint, cheers.
Yeah,
And I
it's
That makes all the difference.
and
We're
on a
at the
vintage
point at-
on a
sorry.
vintage card as well. Sorry, Dan. On a vintage card as well. It's
Give him
first
the little
one-
dart shooter on his wrist.
Oh my god. If they did that as a two-pack with a Mandalorian, like that would be. I would
this is-
actually dig that.
But this is the
Okay.
thing, though. This is
Oh, man.
this is a really good point, Dan. Like you just said, like yeah, do it in a 2-pack with Mandalorian. I'm sorry,
Something weird.
I stand by the fact that Grogu should be a pack-in. He shouldn't
Yeah.
be a figure on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said it when he first came out in a little box. I still say it now. He should be a pack-in and should remain a pack-in. He's an accessory at the end of the day. He's not a figure.
That more recent Black Series one's a testament to that
Such a
because
con.
it's sat in HMV still. Last I
You
checked.
can't,
Yeah.
it can't even shift at
Same for
50%
me.
off.
No.
It's 50% off at the minute, which means it's what, 12 quid? Can't even sell at that.
Yeah.
So,
They lied about that as well. They said there would be an extra head in that box. There is not.
Nah, it was very,
That
very
was a
bad form.
scam.
They just need to, like I said, if they're gonna give us Grogu packing, that's it. Same with Din. Probably going to be a new sculpt, but are we all mandoed out at this point?
Yep.
I thought the same about the Black Series one until they showed it, so I'll reserve judgment. But
I'm with you on that because the Black Series one does look good. It
Yeah.
rights a lot of wrongs and a lot of issues that I had with that original one, like soft goods cape, new helmet. I'm all for it, and I'm probably gonna get it. But yeah, I just feel like this it's one after the other at this point. I feel like we're being oversaturated by Mando, not as a show, but as a character. Like it's the same with Grogu.
I
We're just
agree. Yeah.
we're getting too much too fast, and it's like just scale it back a little bit. Like we've just had one. Wait a few months. Let's just bring it back. And then Mando Fleet Commander, which I'm guessing is going to be the same one in Vintage Collection as we're getting in Black Series.
Mm,
Yeah.
It's a new character. Not
It really stinks of Lucasfilm basically being hounded by Hasbro for. Can we have something from season 3 to make a figure from? Can we have something?
Lizzo.
Oh, what? That guy in the background there, you can make him. He's a Mandalorian. Oh yeah, we'll make him then. It's all right, guys. We've got one, and it's a Mandalorian.
I think. Do you know what? I haven't even got a problem with the character choice. I think for me, it's like you said. It screams Hasbro because it's like, oh, which figure can we repaint and stick a new head on the fastest? When there are so many cool looking covert Mandos that they could do instead.
Yeah.
And you could, and bugger it, you can take parts from old figures if you want. Take a cape from a Mud Trooper Han Solo, stick it on a Death Watch Mando. You know, some bandages from season 2 Wrecker or Hunter or whatever. You know, just pick and choose, cherry pick accessories from other figures. There's
a particular one I like in the opening few episodes of season 3 that's got a full Stormtrooper leg.
Yeah.
How easy do they want it?
The Mando Survivors would be really good. It's new tooling, obviously, but you know they're characters we want. But if we're talking repaints, like I said, they can repaint a plethora of the Mandos that they've already done and just chuck new accessories on them and just say, "There you go, covert Mando."
Where's my Moff Gideon Dark Trooper though? I want that.
That's something we need.
Praetorian Guards.
Yeah, man.
Praetorian Guards.
Imperial Mandos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a 4-pack that we need for Pulse.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Army Builder packs are so easy to do. And they're not quite tapping into the potential yet.
Where are the Black Series ones?
Yeah, we need them. We really, really need them. The fact that we've got a Secret Invasion Nick Fury already. And we haven't got a Mando season 3 Imperial Mando is just it blows my mind. And then they come around and you always get that argument. Well, it takes a long time to manufacture action figures, and from concept to production. Well, then why are Marvel figures on the shelf at the same time as current media? It infuriates me, man.
Full wave on a film that's out in a couple of months' time. Fucking Marvels, and we don't.
That
warming. No one cares.
So annoying.
No one cares.
So annoying. But I don't know. But yeah, some good pipeline reveals from Vintage. Some not so good. I think, like I said, we're at 2.5 hours now, and thank you so much to everybody who's stuck with us. I mean, I think this is probably up to now, so far, being the largest audience we've had consistently from start to finish. So bless each and every one of you for sticking through. I'm absolutely chuffed with that. But I don't want to take up any more of you guys' time, so we will wrap things up with one more pipeline reveal that does come from the retro collection. And I know that some of you, I know that at least one person on this panel is going to be very, very excited about at least one figure in this wave. So we're getting a retro collection Phantom Menace wave, and it's going to consist of Jar Jar Binks, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, Queen Amidala, a battle droid, and one
horny boy.
One horny boy, Darth Maul. We touched on it at the beginning of the stream. So if you're only just joining us and you want to watch this on replay, we did make our feelings known about the Return of the Jedi pack at the beginning. I'm excited for this, but I hope it's not a box set. I hope it's just a regular retail wave that we can pick and choose which figures we want from, because there's at least 2 figures in that lineup that I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to see how they handle in retro style. I think Queen Amidala is going to look superb, especially if they go for that iconic red dress, big hair. That's going to look amazing in retro collection. And the same with Maul, and the same with Jar Jar. They're going to look so cool in that old style.
Just something, because they're weird characters in their own right in terms of how they look. Like, they were so different when they came out as characters compared to what we've had before. I think it's going to work really well in retro collection. So I'm here for it. I think the only one I'm going to pick up is Maul. No brainer for me, but I'd definitely be interested in a battle droid and other stuff. So we'll see how we go.
Fairs. What about you, James? Are you in or are you out?
I'm out. It's a cool concept, though. I mean, I like Jar Jar. I like Maul. I think they could look rather cool.
Yeah, that's fair. Matthew, thank you for clearing that up, mate. I didn't realise that was actually an issue. Stupid me.
Ooh.
Stupid me had pushed COVID to the back of my mind, so I forgot about that. But that does make a lot of sense. So cheers for clearing that one up. But yeah, I think that just about covers everything. That's a good point, Matt. Actually, he's bringing good points to the table.
Yes.
Matthew, bring back contact chips. Now, if you're doing a retro collection of Phantom Menace, they've got to be on Phantom Menace cards. I'm sorry, there's no two ways about it.
Do you think?
I don't think, because obviously they're going to be in vintage style, so they'll be on vintage cards. But that is what I'd do. I wouldn't. Obviously, Comtech chips isn't going to be a thing. I mean, I'd love it to come back. But can you imagine seeing those Maul cards on store shelves again? Man, oh man, I'd love that. But obviously, like I said, it's not going to happen because it's going to be vintage style, so they're going to be on vintage cards, which I'm fine with. But yeah, I'm excited for that. It's going to be. I'm keen to see the product images. I can't wait to see what they actually look like.
Personally, I'm looking forward to see where they take it.
What, the retro lineup as a whole?
Yeah. Take it to Attack the Clones. Take it to Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, Revenge of the Sith.
I could get behind some Revenge of the Sith ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some, like JC's just pointed out, some no-neck clone troopers had been mint.
Yes.
Would you guys prefer if they did lightsabers that the figures could hold, or telescopic ones?
I reckon that there'll be ones that they can hold.
Is that what you'd prefer, or would you prefer them? Because in my head, I find the ones with the telescoping lightsabers to obviously indicate much more of that retro throwback sort of vibe.
Yeah, I'd prefer it. I'd prefer the telescoping lightsabers. Not just for the fact that it screams vintage, but also like I've got the full Mando wave, and Ahsoka does not hold her lightsabers for love or money. So I do prefer the telescoping ones. I think in some instances as well, they look better. Like with Gideon, for example, he's just got a grey lightsaber and it just looks like he's holding a stick.
Yeah.
Whereas if he'd got something coming out of his wrist, I don't know, it might just look a little bit better. But yeah, telescoping all the way. But I do think it'll be the other way around. Maybe Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon will come with telescoping, and Maul will be I see Maul being
Yeah.
I see Maul being similar to the Inquisitors, where it's just a solid red. But we'll see. But yeah, it's been a good one, guys. Thank you, like I said, to everybody who has tuned in and has been with us from start to finish. Like I said, we haven't had that much of a dropout from the beginning of the show, so appreciate that very, very much, guys. Thank you. Have you guys got anything that you want to plug content-wise? Because I know you've been working on a few bits, haven't you, Dan? And you've got a couple of videos up on the channel already, but they're not Star Wars themed.
Yeah, it's just been very much Star Wars on the back burner because I've had a bigger obsession. Star Wars content is coming. I've got a big stack of books I need to do that they've stopped sending me now.
Hey.
I can't wait for that.
I can't wait to see what the last box will have. Stay tuned for that.
Maybe you'll finally get that bookend.
I have got one of them, and the other one's definitely in that stack. I'm pretty sure, but
oh mate,
that's
the end of an era. That is when you wrap those up.
I know, right?
It's gonna be sad. I think I might shed a tear.
Well, it's all right. At least we'll be able to binge the box set once it's done. Once the series concludes. Watching them back to back is going to be a treat.
Trip, isn't it? An absolute
acid
trip, isn't it?
Absolutely. What about you, James? Have you got any content on the horizon? Because I know there were a couple of videos that you were talking about doing when we last got together. So where are they in?
Yeah, we're still talking. Well, I'm still thinking about them. I don't know, mate. It's finding the time these days.
Preach, man.
Yep.
I've got a week off now, but I'm not at home for that. So the next time I'll have any time off work is Christmas. I'll have a fortnight off. So, I mean, if I could get that collection video done last year, I could probably do something this year. So that might be a plan. You can just follow it. I'm deliriously tired. Do apologise. You can just follow me over on Instagram because I'm always active there, and if I've got something new, then more than likely I'm posting about it. Mainly hot toys, but other stuff on the story as well. That's about it, really.
Nice. Well, all the links for these guys' channels are down below in the video description. So if you're not familiar with either of their channels, go and check them out. Content-wise, for me, I've got tons that I need to do. But I'm like you, James. It's just finding the time at the minute. I mean, it's the fact that it's taken 3 months for us to get together on a stream again is a testament to the amount of free time that we've all got at the minute. But hopefully, it won't be as long between streams next time.
May I quickly just say a fleeting thought when you mentioned YouTube channels? For whatever reason, the collection video that I did last year has grossed 9.4 thousand views. Don't know where that's come from. Didn't expect to get 100. So if anybody's watched it that's watching now, thank you very much. If you haven't watched it, go and have a look. Get it to 10k. That'll make me happy because the celebration video I put up sure as hell isn't getting to that. So, hey.
That's nice YouTube one. For you, mate.
That's
YouTube.
That's it. I mean, I will in post once this is wrapped up and the replay is live. I shall stick some little cards on screen so that videos like links to playlists and all that sort of good stuff pop up. So I'll chuck a little one for the collection update at the end. But yeah, that just about wraps it up. And JC, before we go, please do that and make me relevant. Make me relevant, please. Make me relevant.
Make me relevant. Make me relevant.
So yeah, that's gonna wrap things up. Again, a massive thank you to everybody who has tuned in. I appreciate you all. I'm so glad that you're all still sticking around, even though it's been months since any content of any kind has been posted on this channel. And as always, guys, Dan, James, thank you so much for joining me to chat toys.
Always a pleasure.
There's not really much I enjoy more at the minute, so love it. Thank you very, very much. And yeah, we'll see you all on the next one. So thanks for tuning in once again. And yeah, we'll see you very, very soon.
Bye.
As always, until next time. Keep collecting.
Keep collecting. May the
fourth.
Never mind. We're never going to get that.
Well, we'll leave that. We'll leave that to JC in his review. May the force be with you always.
May the force be with you. See you. Bye bye.
It's alright.
Breaking all whole units. Fire at will. Pick a target.